Imagine being completely alone, the ultimate outcast with zero hope left. Yoon Ha-ju's life is a living hell, until a ridiculously handsome guy walks into her life and whispers, "I'll be your friend." But Hae Soo Lee isn't a normal student. He's a chilling ghost boy with a terrifying secret. The moment Yoon Ha accepts his hand, her bullies start meeting very dark, unexpected fates. He comes to her covered in fresh blood, wearing a seductive, psychotic smile that screams danger. He's offering her absolute protection, but the price might be her soul. Is this mysterious boy her bloody salvation, or a fatal curse she can never escape? This is Classmate. In a cold, dark void, Choo Eun Ha lies submerged in despair. Her wrist bears the heavy mark of her deepest sorrow, a stark contrast to her pale skin. Her thoughts echo in the emptiness. She is crushingly lonely and has lost the strength to face tomorrow. The scene shifts to the present day, 2008, at Dongga High School. An announcement is made to the new first-year students. There are 2 rules they must follow. First, never set foot in the crumbling, abandoned annex on the hill behind the school. In the classroom, pencils scratch across paper. The second rule is revealed as the focus lands on Choo Eun Ha, sitting alone with a hollow, distant gaze. No one is to ever speak to or bother her. The warning is clear: get too close, and you will be cursed. Choo Eun Ha sits alone at her desk, the wooden surface covered in hateful messages. Sharpie ink screams insults at her. "You ghost, seeing weirdo, you're creepy." Cruel words are scratched deep into the wood, telling her to just disappear. She stares forward, a silent figure in the green-tinged classroom, surrounded by the venom of her peers. To them, she is not a person, but a curse to be avoided at all costs, a rule to be obeyed. The torment escalates in high school. In the classroom, the bathroom, the gym storage, there is nowhere for Choo Eun Ha to hide. She sits on the dusty floor, uniform smudged with dirt, her face marked by cruelty. A boy leans in, poking her forehead and mocking her tears. With a trembling voice, Eun Ha asks why they do this, insisting they know she cannot actually see ghosts. The group's leader smirks coldly. She admits they know the truth. The reason, she explains with a chilling smile, is simply because it is fun. There is no complex motive. It is just hilarious watching her squirm. Choo Eun Ha shoves past them and runs. She flees into the overgrown woods until her lungs burn, her heart hammering against her ribs like a desperate drum. The frantic chase leaves her breathless, collapsing near the rusted gates of the old, haunted annex. Her skin is flushed with heat and fear. The shouts of her pursuers close in, their voices slicing through the heavy air. Trapped with nowhere left to go, her panicked gaze scans the oppressive greenery. Suddenly, her eyes lock onto something, and her breath catches in her throat. Her heart hammers against her ribs at the sight of the chained gate. But a sliver of hope appears. The chain is loose. The thought of her pursuers is a burning fire behind her. She would rather walk into this ominous building than let them catch her again. She pushes the heavy door open, the creak echoing in the silence. Inside, the air is thick and still, a place frozen in time. She steps into an abandoned classroom, a strange calm replacing the heat of her fear. Here, she thinks, she might finally be safe. In her classroom, Choo Eun Ha's absence does not go unnoticed. Her empty desk sparks cruel whispers among the students and quiet disdain from her teacher. While they speculate, she rests peacefully in the quiet annex, finding a moment of solitude. Suddenly, a strange warmth envelopes her, pulling her from sleep. Her eyes flutter open, not to the dusty, abandoned room she fled to, but to her own classroom. It is bathed in an unnerving amber glow, filled with silent figures. The air thickens as 2 shadowy forms with wide, knowing smiles emerge, their whisper brushing against her senses. That's her, the one who sees ghosts. Vicious whispers coil around Choo Eun Ha, telling her she is cursed and drives everyone away. "It's all lies," she cries, but a classmate just smiles cruelly, saying the truth does not matter when no one cares anyway. As despair washes over Eun Ha, a shadow rides in the air. The chill of the room is suddenly broken by a possessive warmth as Lee Hae Soo materializes behind her. His hands rest on her shoulders, a steadying weight. The air thickens, charged with his presence, a silent promise only she can feel. The air crackles with a possessive heat as Lee Hae Soo's hands tighten on Choo Eun Ha's shoulders. He leans in close, his voice a chilling lesson whispered just for her, promising to show her how it is done. The classmate's smug expression shatters into pure terror as she finally sees the monstrous shadow looming behind Eun Ha. A silent scream is swallowed by encroaching darkness, the bully's form dissolving into nothingness. With a sharp gasp, Choo Eun Ha jolts awake. The nightmare's fiery red glow vanishes, replaced by the sickly green of a dusty classroom. A dream? She wonders, panting. Choo Eun Ha stands frozen, a chill running down her spine as she recognizes the dusty classroom from her nightmare. This can't be, she whispers, her confusion mounting. A sudden, loud clatter from a corner cabinet makes her flinch, and she sees a pile of books has tumbled onto the floor. Deciding to clean up the mess, she crouches down. Among the scattered texts, a single red notebook catches her eye. It is labeled Guest Invitation. Her heart pounds as she flips it open, discovering it is a guide to a spirit summoning ritual, a dangerous rite with a stark warning. A cold dread creeps up Choo Eun Ha's spine. She clutches the red notebook, a single thought echoing in her mind. She needs to get out. But it is too late. Her bullies step from the shadows, cornering her. The leader snatches the book, her eyes scanning the pages. Guest invitation, she muses, a slow, malicious grin spreading across her face as she understands. A spirit summoning ritual. She looks directly at Eun Ha, her voice dripping with menacing excitement. This should be fun, right? Choo Eun Ha can only tremble, frozen by pure terror. In the dim school hallway, a group of students excitedly discuss a plan. One of them holds up a small, dark board, suggesting that spirit summoning sounds like fun. The very idea sends a jolt of panic through Choo Eun Ha. Her eyes widen in terror, and she immediately turns and bolts down the corridor, desperate to get away. But she does not get far. A hand suddenly lunges out and yanks her back forcefully, her escape cut short. Her captor, a male student, sneers, asking if she was trying to run. The other bullies gather around, their expressions cruel. One girl smirks and demands an apology, telling Eun Ha to get on her knees. With a forceful shove, they throw her to the floor. Eun Ha cries out, landing hard on her knees amidst rough, splintered edges littering the wooden planks. Tears well in her eyes as she trembles, whispering how much it hurts. The bullies show no mercy, one ordering another to hold her down. They mock her for coming to a place declared off-limits due to ghost sightings. A girl points to the classroom sign, Class 3-1, and adds that this room has the most reports. She leans in close to Eun Ha's terrified face, her voice a low taunt. "You claimed you couldn't see them," she says. "Quit lying." The girl with the pink bun leans in close, a cruel smile on her face as she questions if Eun Ha can see the spirits. Trembling, Eun Ha stammers that she cannot, that being in this classroom was a mistake. Unconvinced, the bully offers a twisted deal. If Eun Ha does exactly as they say, they will let her go. Another student grabs Eun Ha, holding her firmly so she cannot run. The others begin their ritual, writing the word "welcome" in red on torn paper, pasting the eerie invitations on every window and door. The air in the classroom grows thick with an oppressive heat. A boy holds Choo Eun Ha, taunting her about her past, but his words are lost to the frantic beat of her heart. For their ritual, they prepare a grim offering. Cheap chocolates and a cup filled with the dark toll of her ordeal. Using her phone as a candle, they force her to read from a book. Her voice trembles as she whispers the invitation into the suffocating silence. "Welcome, guest." Finished, she looks up with a fragile plea, asking if she can finally go now. A sharp shove sends Choo Eun Ha stumbling back to the floor. The air grows thick, hot, and suffocating. The bully smiles, revealing the cruel catch. The host who greeted the guest must stay until the invocation is complete. Panic flares in Eun Ha's chest as the others file out, their taunts echoing. The door slams shut, the handle barricaded from the outside. "You promised," she screams, her voice trembling. Her heart hammers against her ribs as she pounds on the door, trapped alone in the oppressive darkness with their ominous invitation. Elsewhere, the bullies explore a dark, abandoned building. One of the boys laughs, suggesting it is a perfect place to hang out unnoticed, but the girls are unnerved. The windows are boarded up, and strange sounds echo in the halls. Two of them split off, heading down a dark stairwell alone. The girl admits she was only pretending to be brave and calls Choo Eun Ha a clueless idiot. Suddenly, they freeze. At the bottom of the steps, a figure lies motionless. They stare in shock. It is Choo Eun Ha, surrounded by a growing shadow of her fading strength. The boy's flashlight beam cuts through the oppressive darkness of the stairwell as he insists he saw something. His companion dismisses his fears, her voice trembling slightly as she reminds him they made sure no one else was there. The light reveals nothing but empty, decaying steps. Suddenly, her eyes widen in terror. A silhouette now stands at the bottom, an unnerving stillness to its form. Before they can react, an immense, menacing shadow envelopes them from above. A heavy thud echoes in the silence. Nearby, another girl hears the noise and cautiously investigates, only to find one of her friends collapsed and motionless on the floor. The girl rushes to her friend's side, her voice trembling as she demands to know what happened. A sudden chill runs down her spine. Her eyes catch movement in a dusty mirror on the wall. A menacing silhouette looms behind her reflection. Before she can react, a shadowy force grabs her, and she collapses to the floor, motionless. In another part of the building, Choo Eun Ha slowly sits up. A shiver racks her body as she notices two dark, ominous shadows on her shirt. How much time has passed? She wonders aloud, her voice small in the empty, desolate room. A deep chill seeps into Choo Eun Ha, a coldness that has nothing to do with the summer air as she sits alone in the oppressive darkness. Suddenly, a presence is there, a startling warmth against her back. A hand covers her mouth, firm and possessive, stifling her gasp of surprise. His body is pressed close, a shield against the void. A low voice murmurs directly into her ear, his breath a hot whisper against her skin that sends an unfamiliar tremor racing through her entire body. "They're here," Lee Hae Soo breathes against her skin, his voice a possessive hum. The warmth of his body shields her, but a deeper cold seeps into Choo Eun Ha's bones. She can feel them, countless spirits gathering in the dark, their whispers a chorus of desperate need. She holds her breath, certain that if they find her, it will be the end. Then, a sudden, heavy silence. The whispers vanish. In the oppressive quiet, a single, terrifying question burns in the void, as if written in the darkest ink. Is it me? A voice echoes in the oppressive darkness, the same one from Choo Eun Ha's dream. Her blood runs cold. Why is she hearing it now? The bedroom door slowly creaks open, revealing a distorted, shadowy figure. Her heart freezes in her chest. This is not the boy she knows. A monstrous entity looms over her, its face split by a terrifying, all-consuming grin. A chilling voice slithers into her mind, claiming she invited it here. The question hangs in the air as she stares, paralyzed, wondering what unholy thing she has just welcomed into her life. The air in the dark room grows thick and heavy as a terrifying, shadowed form materializes before Choo Eun Ha. Her heart hammers against her ribs, a frantic rhythm in the suffocating silence. A distorted voice, like an echo from a deep, watery place, pulls her name from the air. It asks why she summoned it, questioning if she, too, only wanted to use its power. Frozen in terror, Choo Eun Ha stammers, denying it. With a trembling voice, she insists it was the other students, the ones who tormented her, who made her do it. The monstrous entity looms closer, its voice a low rumble. It notes that while it sensed others, only Choo Eun Ha carries the scent of the forsaken. The air grows thick, charged with a sudden, terrifying warmth. Against a blood-red void, the creature's jagged smile widens as it declares, "I like you." The shadowy form dissolves, reforming into a boy, Lee Hae Soo. He floats toward her, his presence overwhelming the small space. He whispers that she is just like him, that he can feel the heavy weight of her loneliness. His hand reaches for her, and a desperate plea escapes her lips, "Save me." A bright flashlight beam slices through the darkness. A security guard's voice cuts through the silence, asking who is there. He explains he saw a light from the window and found other students passed out nearby. His light finds Choo Eun Ha, standing completely still. He calls out to her, asking for her grade in class, but she does not answer. Suddenly, her body goes limp, and she crumples to the floor. The guard rushes forward in a panic. Choo Eun Ha's eyes slowly flutter open. Huh. She sits up, confused, finding herself in her own bed. She is still in her school uniform, and fresh bandages are on her knees. Her eyes widen as the memory of the night before floods back in a dizzying rush. Choo Eun Ha awakens not in her bed, but in a hospital room. A doctor's words about her father are a distant drone as her mind struggles to piece together the night's events. How could they have all collapsed? The memories are a confusing, terrifying blur. As she sits up, Her fingers brush against something solid in her pocket. She pulls it out, a plastic school name tag. A wave of heat rushes through her as she reads the name in stark letters. Lee Hae Soo. Her heart hammers in her chest. The proof is real. In the drab teacher's office, one of the students points an accusing finger at Choo Eun Ha. He claims she was performing some kind of ghost summoning ritual. Choo Eun Ha flinches, her eyes wide with shock. That's a lie, she cries out, insisting they forced her. The teacher sighs, rubbing his tired eyes. He informs her that Tae-rin is unconscious in the hospital. As her bullies are dismissed, they shoot a triumphant, wicked smile her way. The teacher then corners Choo Eun Ha, gripping her arm tightly. His face is a mask of desperation as he begs her not to breathe a word of what happened. I'm only a few years away from retirement, he pleads, asking her to just keep her head down. Choo Eun Ha steps into the suffocating quiet of the school hallway, the heat of shame still on her cheeks. Her bullies are waiting. They immediately corner her against the lockers, their sneering faces uncomfortably close. One grabs her chin, her grip like a vice as she demands to know how Eun Ha escaped the cabinet. The air crackles with tension. With a triumphant grin, the girl reveals that Tae-rin is awake. A cold dread spreads through Eun Ha's chest as the final, chilling promise is whispered into her ear. She wants to see you. In the suffocating silence of the empty classroom, cruel words carved into her desk burn Choo Eun Ha's eyes. Despair clutches her heart as she wonders if it would be easier to just disappear. She climbs onto the window ledge, a quiet surrender as she looks out into the void. But her resolve shatters, and she collapses to the floor, defeated. A sudden warmth floods the room as a low voice asks, "Were you really about to step off the edge?" Choo Eun Ha looks up, her breath catching, as a familiar black shadow materializes from nothingness before her. The warmth from his presence spreads through the classroom as Lee Hae Soo's shadowy form solidifies before her. Choo Eun Ha's breath hitches. She recognizes the monstrous, tooth-filled grin from her nightmares. He perches casually on a desk, his dark eyes fixed on her. He offers to free her from her tormentors, his voice a low, tempting hum that makes her heart pound. "Invite me back into your class," he commands, promising her bullies will never bother her again. Trembling, she asks why he chose her. A shadowy smile spreads across his face. "Because you and I are alike." The heat in the room intensifies, mirroring the storm inside Choo Eun Ha. Memories of her tormentors and the dismissive adults flash through her mind, solidifying her resolve. A life of being trampled on is no life at all. She decides she would rather befriend a ghost. Lee Hae Soo watches her, his monstrous smile widening. He instructs her to perform the ritual. With a trembling hand, she makes a binding vow, letting a single, dark drop fall onto his name tag. She places the offering on the desk. "Welcome, guest," she whispers, her voice barely audible. The vow-marked name tag vanishes from the desk. Choo Eun Ha gasps, her eyes flying up to find it pinned to Lee Hae Soo's uniform. He stands fully formed, his shadowy hands solidifying as he murmurs, "Finally. Good." A suffocating heat radiates from him as he steps impossibly close, the air crackling between them. He leans in, his voice a low vibration against her skin as he says her name. "Choo Eun Ha." He smiles, a possessive curve of his lips. "Please take care of me." Her heart hammers against her ribs, caught between terror and a flicker of hope. Choo Eun Ha hurries through the quiet school halls, her heart pounding with anticipation. She reaches the classroom, sliding the door open only to find it completely empty. Disappointment washes over her. He had promised he would be waiting. "I must have been out of my mind," she whispers, convincing herself it was all a dream she foolishly believed. But it wasn't a dream. The familiar voice cuts through the silence. Choo Eun Ha turns, stunned. Lee Hae Soo is right there, a knowing smile on his face as he watches her. The air grows warm, charged with his sudden presence. Choo Eun Ha jumps, her breath catching in her throat. "When did you get here?" she stammers, completely startled. Lee Hae Soo leans on his hand, a lazy, confident smile spreading across his face. He tells her he has been waiting from the very beginning. His dark, knowing eyes watch her, filled with amusement as he asks if she really came just like he told her to. The air in the empty classroom thickens, growing warmer with every frantic beat of her heart. His intense gaze pins her in place. Lee Hae Soo suddenly reaches out, his fingers wrapping around Choo Eun Ha's hand. She flinches, her heart skipping a beat as she asks what he is doing. The touch is strange. His skin feels real, but icy and impossibly fragile, like glass submerged in cold water. He watches her with an amused smile, asking if she finds it fascinating. Leaning closer, he murmurs that she is the only one who can touch him, because she is the one who called for him. Just as abruptly, he pulls his hand away, warning that prolonged contact is not good, not yet. A click echoes as a classmate turns on the lights, asking why she is sitting in the dark. Choo Eun Ha freezes, her heart sinking with a terrifying realization: no one else can see him. The classroom fills with the normal chatter of students, a world she is no longer fully part of. It is a day just like any other, except for one thing. The seat beside her, always empty, is now filled by a classmate only she knows exists. A chill runs down her spine when the teacher asks if Kim Tae-rin is still in the hospital. Lee Hae Soo leans in close, his voice a low breath against Choo Eun Ha's ear. He murmurs that he knows about Kim Tae-rin, the girl who locked someone in a closet and wishes she would never return. After being called out by the teacher, Hae Soo's shadow looms over her, his voice turning cold as he asks if she is ignoring him. Her hands tremble as she scribbles a reply on paper, explaining that no one else can hear him. He softens, admitting he forgot. A strange warmth fills the air as he asks why she speaks so formally, like he is not a friend. A quiet, breathy laugh escapes Lee Hae Soo as he covers his face. Choo Eun Ha's cheeks flush, her heart thumping with a confusing mix of fear and curiosity. He is far more mischievous than she anticipated. To avoid another close call, she leads him to a secluded path surrounded by trees. The air feels heavy. He smirks, asking if she is taking him to the annex. She stammers a denial, insisting she just wanted a private place to talk. His constant, fascinated questions about the modern classroom all day had nearly given them away. Lee Hae Soo smirks, unconcerned. It's not like anyone besides you could notice me. Choo Eun Ha's expression fills with pure dread. She explains that people already called her crazy. She could see spirits. If they found out now, the torment would be unimaginable. His features harden, a chilling smile touching his lips. Just then, a harsh voice echoes through the trees. Eun Ha gasps as another student, Park Soo-hyuk, strides toward her with a girl. He grabs her arm forcefully, his grip tightening. He sneers, asking what she is doing in this creepy place, and suggests they should all have some fun together. Choo Eun Ha struggles against Park Soo-hyuk's crushing grip, her voice cracking as she begs him to let go. He only sneers, questioning if she feels brave now that it has been a few days since her last lesson. Panic floods her eyes. She turns, her plea a desperate whisper, "Hae Soo, Lee Hae Soo, please help me." But Lee Hae Soo remains perfectly still, a chilling, dark silhouette against the trees. Her heart sinks into a cold pit of dread. He promised he would help her. A cruel smile plays on the bully's lips as he suggests trying the shadow game. He explains the chilling rumor that stealing someone's breath lets them see spirits, announcing he wants to do it properly this time. He lunges toward a terrified Choo Eun Ha. She cries for him to stop as he closes in, his hand reaching for her. In an instant, the lights flicker and extinguish, plunging the room into darkness. A voice curses, cut short as they all see a menacing, dark silhouette materializing in the barred window. The overhead light flashes erratically, blinding Park Soo-hyuk as he cries out. Stumbling back, he feels a cold liquid drip onto his face and questions if it is water. Choo Eun Ha gasps for breath, her wide, terrified eyes staring upward. Park Soo-hyuk follows her gaze and freezes. Suspended upside down from the flickering light is Lee Hae Soo, a chilling silhouette. As the boy stares in disbelief, a menacing voice echoes in the dark. "Keep going." Lee Hae Soo's form distorts into a monstrous shadow, a terrifying grin spreading across his face. "You're interesting." In a dimly lit storage room, a man's eyes widen in sheer terror as he stares at the ceiling, letting out a panicked scream. A woman behind him flinches, her voice trembling as she asks what has gotten into him. "You're scaring me," she exclaims. He stumbles backward onto the floor, his fingers shaking as he points upward, insisting there was something black on the ceiling. The woman glances up, her expression a mix of fear and annoyance. "There's nothing there," she says, but just as she speaks, a sharp cracking sound erupts beside her, and she screams. In the eerie green glow of the storage room, Choo Eun Ha clutches her chest, her wide, fearful eyes fixed on the space above. She softly whispers Lee Hae Soo's name into the tense air. A girl nearby covers her mouth in horror, her mind racing with the terrifying thought that they are not alone. On the floor, a panicked boy sweats, stammering in sheer terror. He scrambles to his feet, stumbling as he turns toward the door, his voice cracking as he insists they need to get outside right now. A sudden, sharp cry of pain echoes through the storage room as the boy is violently pulled to the floor. He clutches his ankle, his face contorted in agony, screaming that something is terribly wrong. Sprawled on the ground, he desperately calls out to the girl standing frozen nearby, pleading for her to help him. But she is paralyzed by fear, her eyes wide with shock. As he screams at her again, her body trembles and she turns toward the door. "Are you insane?" he yells, his voice filled with desperation as a hand reaches for a dumbbell. Panic grips the girl as she fumbles with the storage room door. Her hands tremble as she pulls the handle, her voice cracking as she demands to know why it will not open. The handle rattles uselessly. Suddenly, with a violent bang, the door bursts inward, throwing her backward onto the floor. She cries out in pain and shock. The boy, still on the ground, looks up in confusion. He then glances down at his own legs and realizes the invisible grip is gone. He mutters in disbelief, questioning how his feet came loose. A sharp voice cuts through the tense air, calling out the name of the boy on the floor. In the now open doorway, another student stares into the dark room, his expression frozen in shock. Choo Eun Ha looks up, her own wide eyes locking with his for a split second. Without warning, the boy she was trapped with screams and scrambles to his feet, fleeing down the hall in a blind panic. Left alone on the cold floor, Choo Eun Ha chokes back a sob, her hand flying to her throat as she gasps for air. A gentle voice breaks through her terror, asking softly if she is okay. The quiet concern hangs in the air, a sudden warmth that causes her frantic heartbeat to stutter in her chest. A hand cups Choo Eun Ha's cheek, the touch startling her. Looking up at Lee Hae Soo, she asks why he just watched, why he only appeared now. His gaze is chillingly calm as he explains he had to see it for himself, to understand just how much she was suffering and how truly horrible her tormentors are. He leans closer, the air between them growing warm and heavy. His voice drops to a low whisper, promising that now they can make them pay exactly what they deserve. He tells her she does not have to worry anymore. Lee Hae Soo leans closer, his voice a low, intense promise that he will never leave her to face things alone again. The air between them grows warm, charged with unspoken intensity. A shaky thank you escapes Choo Eun Ha's lips. Her mind is a whirl of relief and fear. She knows if he had not appeared, it could have been much worse. Still, a chilling question echoes in her thoughts. Can she really trust him? Meanwhile, in a hospital room, the student who discovered her frantically insists he is telling the truth. He saw him. He yells. Someone was standing right next to Choo Eun Ha. In a frantic attempt to make sense of the chaos, a girl insists it is all connected to the spirit summoning. Her voice trembles as she explains her bad feeling, convinced a real ghost latched onto Choo Eun Ha. From a hospital bed, another student scoffs, dismissing the idea as a ridiculous story. But a boy beside her quickly shuts down the disbelief. He challenges her, demanding to know if she can explain why Choo Eun Ha suddenly collapsed. He leans forward, his voice low and urgent, insisting there is something happening that none of them understand. The girl in the hospital bed wonders aloud if it is all just her imagination. In a flash, her expression shifts, a cold smile forming as she accuses her friend of blaming her. The visiting girl freezes, her eyes widening in sheer panic. Rising from the bed, the injured student's voice grows sharp, demanding an answer. Her friend stammers a denial, but she only leans forward, mockingly cupping her ear. She claims she cannot understand, mumbling and tauntingly invites her to come a little closer and say it again. Before the visiting girl can finish her thought, Kwon Bona lunges. With a sharp glint of metal, she brings a heavy object down in a swift, vicious motion. Another boy shouts, trying to restrain her, but the strike lands. Her friend collapses to the floor with a cry of pain. The boy rushes to her side, looking up at his impassive classmate and asking if a ghost is responsible. The standing boy looks down at the chaotic scene, a dark curiosity in his eyes as he murmurs that this is quite interesting. Choo Eun Ha groans as she wakes, shielding her eyes from the sun. A quick look outside confirms her suspicion. It is already Sunday. She wonders how she managed to sleep through the entire weekend. A sharp sting on her knee makes her wince. A large, dark bruise has formed beneath her skin. Sitting in the bathroom, she carefully covers the scab with fresh bandages. Her stomach rumbles loudly, reminding her she is hungry. After finding nothing in the kitchen, she opens the freezer. Her eyes light up as she discovers a packaged bread, a snack she got from school. Choo Eun Ha tears open the packaging and takes a large bite of the bread. This will have to last for today. At her small table, she calculates that if she fills up on school lunches, she can make it until next month. Her phone buzzes, displaying a simple message. Her dad has deposited money. It is the first she has heard from him in a month. As the silence of her apartment settles in again, Lee Hae Soo's intense promise echoes in her mind. I won't leave you alone. Heat rushes to her cheeks. She shakes her head, trying to clear the sudden, warm memory. Why is she thinking of that now? Her expression sobers, a flicker of concern crossing her face as she recalls the last time she saw him. Her mind drifts back to the school gate, to Lee Hae Soo's smiling, shadowed face. He apologizes, explaining he cannot step beyond the boundary. The memory stings. Alone in her starkly lit apartment, she sinks into a quiet fantasy, a question blooming in her thoughts. What would it be like if he were here with her now? A sudden warmth spreads through her chest, his dark silhouette filling the empty space in her mind. As she wrings a cloth in the bathroom, his other words echo, his dark promise to make her bullies pay. The distorted image of Lee Hae Soo's terrifying smile fills Choo Eun Ha's thoughts, his promise echoing. Her bullies will never set foot in the classroom again. She wonders what he plans to do. A darker part of her takes over, admitting that she hopes they suffered just as she did. A brief, satisfying memory of their comeuppance flashes through her mind. It was their own fault, she reasons. They deserved it. Still, an unsettling feeling lingers. Even though he was the first to stand up for her, there is something about him that truly scares her. On her rooftop, Choo Eun Ha snaps a wet sheet onto the clothesline. A thought interrupts the chore. Even if they are friends, she knows nothing about him. Her mind drifts, picturing Lee Hae Soo as he must have been when he was alive. Handsome, popular, surrounded by smiling classmates. How could someone with such a seemingly perfect life end up trapped at school forever? The question hangs in the air as she loses her footing and tumbles backward. A chilling image of his monstrous face flashes in her thoughts, a stark contrast to the boy she just imagined. As evening settles, Choo Eun Ha remains on the rooftop, a thought echoing in her mind. Maybe Lee Hae Soo was also very lonely. Later, she lies in bed, staring into the darkness. Sleep does not come. Her thoughts are a fever, circling endlessly around him. A warmth blossoms in her chest, insistent and unsettling. She knows one thing for certain. She wants to understand him. She needs to know what happened to him, why he is confined to that school. A quiet resolve takes hold. Perhaps if she uncovers his secrets, this burning curiosity will finally fade. Under the full moon, the school falls into a deep silence. Inside a darkened classroom, the air is thick with anticipation as a shadowy figure stands amongst the empty desks. The quiet is broken only by the loud ticking of a clock on the wall and the slow creak of the classroom door sliding open. A man in a baseball cap and tracksuit peeks in, his face etched with caution. He whispers to himself, checking that he is truly alone, before slipping inside. He collapses into a chair, staring at the empty desk before him and muttering a name in frustration. The man recoils, covering his mouth as a wave of revulsion hits him. A cold, menacing voice slices through the suffocating silence. He was sent to see if there was anything to find, but what he has discovered is a nightmare. A pale hand appears, dangling 2 shattered tokens as a grim warning. Didn't I tell you to give an appropriate example? The voice chides. On the desk, several slips of paper are arranged, each one bearing a name scrawled in a dark, ominous hue next to a chilling command for their end. The plan solidifies in his mind. Make Choo Eun Ha look like the unstable soul who cursed the whole class. He briefly wonders what she could have done to deserve this, but quickly pushes the thought away. It is not his problem to solve. Pulling on a thin glove, he prepares to spread the dark marks across a few desks to complete the setup. But a sudden, chilling sensation stops him cold. He whips around, eyes wide with alarm. The classroom is empty, but he feels an unnerving certainty. Someone is watching him from the shadows. The man mutters, trying to dismiss the unnerving feeling as his imagination. He was already on edge, and the paranoia just irritates him. Across the room, hidden by the deep blue shadows, Lee Hae Soo sits casually on a desk, a cold smirk on his face. "Idiots," he says, his voice a low whisper that carries through the silence. He notes that the man has not changed at all. A shadowy hand descends, enveloping the man's silhouette in a crushing grip. Lee Hae Soo decides he will be the first. You'll do well. At 6:40 in the morning, a student in a baseball cap walks through the empty school hallways. He thinks to himself that to avoid suspicion, it would be better to return to the classroom a little later. But his plan hits a snag when he sees a guard already sweeping by the front gate. Annoyed, he decides it is not worth the risk of being caught. He turns away, choosing to take the secluded mountain trail behind the school instead. As he walks through the dense woods, he suddenly halts. Another pair of feet blocks his path. Confused, he wonders why he has not arrived yet. The student trudges along the mountain path, the air growing thick and hot. He grumbles to himself, frustrated that the route is taking so long. His heavy footsteps are the only sound, or so he thinks. A prickle of awareness runs down his spine. Has he been hearing other footsteps for a while now? The thought gets on his nerves, a low hum of anxiety starting in his chest. He glances over his shoulder, his heart beating a little faster. He wonders if someone is behind him, or if it is just his imagination again. He scoffs, trying to quiet the frantic beat of his heart. He tells himself he freaked out for nothing, but the incident in the gym storage room still clings to his mind like the humid air. Annoyed, he dismisses the paranoia and forces himself to walk on, his heavy footsteps the only sound in the oppressive silence of the trail. But then, another sound joins his. A second set of footsteps, deliberate and perfectly in sync with his own. He freezes, a wave of cold dread washing over him. He is no longer alone. The student's footsteps come to a sudden, jarring halt. His entire body goes rigid. Before him, a dark silhouette stands motionless on the path. A cold wave of terror washes over him, and his legs give out completely. He collapses onto the dusty trail. The shadow before him begins to twist and writhe, uncoiling into a tall, spindly nightmare with a terrifying grin. A distorted voice echoes in his mind. You. The monstrous creature leans down, its presence suffocating as it asks if he remembers seeing this before. The student can only stare, his eyes wide as choked. Terrified gasps escape his lips. The monstrous figure leans closer, its distorted voice echoing in the student's mind. It asks if he enjoys toying with something already lifeless. Before he can process the question, a horrifying, skeletal grin flashes through his mind, followed by a chilling command. Then feel it for yourself. A searing agony erupts across the student's face. He collapses to the ground, screaming as his body trembles uncontrollably. He clutches frantically at his own face, his cries swallowed by the woods. My face, he chokes out. It hurts. A shadowy tendril snakes from the darkness, and he pulls his hands away, revealing a twisted, marred reflection of what was once there. The dark entity dissolves into the air, vanishing like smoke into the teal-hued gloom. A moment of silence hangs over the sun-dappled forest path, where a single, abandoned shoe is all that remains of the terrifying encounter. The school bell chimes, pulling the scene back into the mundane world of a classroom. Two students chat about the day's lunch menu, but another classmate is not focused on food. She stares at her phone, her expression filled with a growing dread as she nervously chews on her thumbnail. Park Soo-hyuk. She thinks, her stomach twisting. It is already lunchtime. Anxious, the student grips her phone, her thoughts racing. Why isn't he here? Why won't he pick up? Her worried gaze shifts across the room and settles on Choo Eun Ha, who sits silently at her desk. A cold dread washes over the girl. What if something happened again? Her pride bristles at the thought of being intimidated by Eun Ha, but the feeling is undeniable. A disturbing memory flashes, an incident that felt unnatural. The horrible realization dawns on her. She's the one, she thinks, trembling. She summons ghosts. A strange quiet settles over the classroom. Choo Eun Ha notices the empty desks. Her usual tormentors are absent. A rare, unfamiliar warmth blooms in her chest as she wonders when she last had such a peaceful day. Her gaze drifts to Lee Hae Soo, who stares out the window with a soft, content smile. Seeing him so serene, a sudden courage sparks within her. Her heart pounds as she finally asks him to tell her about himself, why he chose her. Lee Hae Soo turns, his dark eyes widening in genuine surprise, caught completely off guard by her question. Choo Eun Ha leans forward, her cheeks flushed as she insists, I really want to know. A wide, delighted grin spreads across Lee Hae Soo's face. He leans closer, the air between them crackling with an unspoken energy. His sudden happiness confuses her. He suggests they go to the place where they first met after school. The annex, she whispers, her heart thudding in her chest. With a confident, knowing smile, Lee Hae Soo promises that there, he will show her exactly who he is, sending a shiver of anticipation through her. A boy with glasses, Choi Jeon-woo, stays behind in the empty classroom. As another student leaves, he waves him off, saying he has things to take care of. He turns to the window, watching Choo Eun Ha walk alone across the school grounds below. His fingers nervously fidget with a beaded bracelet on his wrist. Heading to the annex again, he thinks with a heavy heart. A shadow crosses his face as he watches her go, a sense of dread washing over him. He wonders what he should do, fearing that if this continues, there will be no turning back. The air is thick with anticipation as Lee Hae Soo leads Choo Eun Ha to a forgotten building, its wooden doors looming in the warm glow of sunset. With a heavy creak, he pushes one door open, revealing a sliver of light from within. He turns back to her, a magnetic, unsettling smile playing on his lips. "Hurry up and come in," he urges. Choo Eun Ha hesitates, her expression a mix of confusion and apprehension. He leans in, his dark eyes locking onto hers as his voice drops to a low whisper. "You said you wanted to know who I am, right?" She flinches, her heart hammering as she stands on the threshold, caught between fear and a desperate need for answers. Choo Eun Ha follows Lee Hae Soo into the dark, abandoned annex, her footsteps echoing on the dusty wooden floor. The air grows thick, pressing in on her like deep water as unsettling visions of grinning specters flash through her mind. Her heart hammers against her ribs. He stops ahead and turns, his calm voice cutting through the silence. "Why are you so tense? Scared of the ghosts?" A strange warmth floods her chest despite her fear. She flinches, quickly denying it. "No, it's not that. I'm fine," she insists, her voice trembling slightly. A chilling grin spreads across Lee Hae Soo's face. He reassures Choo Eun Ha that as long as he is around, the bullies will not touch a single hair on her head. His dark promise hangs in the air, a strange and unsettling comfort. Her heart pounds as she finally voices the question that has been on her mind, observing that among all the spirits, he seems uniquely strong. He smirks, denying it is strength and cryptically stating he has just been around for ages. The air grows heavy with unspoken history as he asks, "Then do you know why this annex was shut down?" Lee Hae Soo smirks, his answer vague. He simply says the annex was already worn out even when he was here. A prickle of doubt runs through Choo Eun Ha. She knows it is not the whole story. Her mind races with questions, a desire to know more warring with the fear of pushing too far. Deciding to wait, her heart a quiet drum, she follows him down the dark, dusty corridor. He stops at a doorway, beckoning her inside. A warm light spills out as she reads the old sign above, "Third year, Class 1." Lee Hae Soo explains that 10 years ago, this was his classroom. The words hang in the air, and Choo Eun Ha's eyes go wide. She stammers, admitting she thought he was a first-year student like her. A blush blooms on her cheeks as she panics, realizing she has been speaking informally to a senior. She trembles, wondering what to do. He bursts into genuine laughter, completely amused by her reaction. Choo Eun Ha tries to explain, pointing out his name tag was the same color as hers. A soft smile plays on his lips. Lee Hae Soo dismisses her concern, telling her age is irrelevant since he is not among the living. With a gentle smile, he tells her to call him whatever feels most comfortable. Choo Eun Ha hesitates before agreeing to use his name. "Call me Hae Soo," he says softly. He then speaks her name, Eun Ha, and the sound sends a jolt through her. A deep blush spreads across her cheeks, a strange, warm flutter taking hold in her chest. Shaking her head to clear the feeling, her thoughts latch onto something else, the spirit summoning ritual. A thought sparks in Choo Eun Ha's mind, the spirit summoning notebook. She drops to her knees to check under the desk, but it is gone. Panic flutters in her stomach. Who could have possibly taken it? Her eyes land on Lee Hae Soo, leaning against a desk in the warm, dusty light. He looks so solid, so real, that her breath catches in her throat. He turns his head, and she flinches. Pointing to an empty seat, he explains that is where he sat. Confused, Choo Eun Ha asks who he means. He replies without looking back, "My one and only friend." Choo Eun Ha finds it surprising, admitting she pictured him being very popular. Lee Hae Soo looks away with a wistful smile, explaining that he was always alone and this friend was the very first person to approach him. A warmth spreads through Choo Eun Ha's chest as she asks where his friend is now. The air in the room grows heavy. Lee Hae Soo's face falls in a shadow as he says he misses him, often imagining what he would do if they met again. His hand suddenly grips a desk, the wood groaning under the pressure. The sound makes her jump. A chilling smile forms on his lips. "I'd ask if he was okay," he whispers, casually, as if nothing had happened. The casual smile on Lee Hae Soo's face twists into a menacing grin. He continues his story, imagining his old friend would look at him and ask, "How did you manage to get out of there?" The question hangs in the air, chilling Choo Eun Ha to the bone. She does not understand. Hae Soo's voice drops lower, describing how he would then grab the boy as he tried to flee and watch him plead. "Stop it!" Choo Eun Ha shouts, her voice trembling. Lee Hae Soo rises from his seat, his gaze fixed on her. Lee Hae Soo's eyes darken as he questions her. "Why? You think I'm being too harsh?" A tremor runs through Choo Eun Ha as she stammers his name. Suddenly, he grabs her shoulders, his grip firm and unyielding. The warmth from his hands feels less like comfort and more like a brand. He snarls that his friend was a traitor who just used him before leaving him all alone. The air crackles, the room tinted red by his rage as he declares that anyone who betrays a friend deserves what is coming to them. He then turns his intense gaze back on her, closing the space between them until she can feel his breath. "Eun Ha," he whispers, a dangerous smile on his lips. "What about you? Do you think I'm wrong too?" Lee Hae Soo leans in, his face close to Choo Eun Ha's. He murmurs, asking if the cat has her tongue. She freezes, her heart pounding against her ribs as she stammers a denial. The dark, intense atmosphere feels heavy around them, his menacing smile just inches away. But just as the tension peaks, he pulls back, a bright laugh shattering the mood. He cheerfully asks if he scared her, calling the whole thing a joke. Choo Eun Ha stares, stunned and confused by the sudden shift. He reaches a hand toward her, his expression now soft and apologetic. A warm flush creeps up Choo Eun Ha's neck as Lee Hae Soo explains he only meant to startle her out of her trembling. But her heart still races from the shock. "Do you have any idea how terrifying that is?" she asks, hot tears blurring her vision. Frustration and vulnerability wash over her. She confesses she is drawn to him and wants to understand him, but his cryptic nature keeps her at a distance. Wiping her eyes, she resolves to guard her heart, unsure if he is a safe harbor or a dangerous storm. Lee Hae Soo's voice is a low, intense whisper as he calls Choo Eun Ha's name. Suddenly, he grabs her from behind, his touch sending a jolt through her. He confesses that she is the first person who ever approached him, the first one to ask to be his friend. Stunned, Eun Ha whispers his name, her heart pounding. The moment hangs heavy between them, but just as quickly, he turns away with a cryptic smile. He dismisses it as nothing, suggesting they head back. Confused, she stammers her agreement, walking on as a new, tangible distance separates them. The walk back is shrouded in a heavy silence. Lee Hae Soo does not say a word, so Choo Eun Ha follows his lead. Questions swirl in her mind, but an unspoken barrier keeps her from asking. Suddenly, he stops under the dark sky and turns to her. "Eun Ha," he says, "promise me one thing." Confused, she listens as he forbids her from going to the school's annex unless it is daytime and he is with her. She asks why, but he offers no explanation. A faint, knowing smile plays on his lips as he tells her she will understand soon if she waits. "Please," he adds, his intense gaze holding hers, leaving the air thick with unspoken secrets. Choo Eun Ha's heart hammers in her chest. She has never seen Lee Hae Soo speak with such chilling seriousness before. A memory flashes in her mind. Him, always alone, and her, the first person to reach out. That thought solidifies her resolve. "Okay, I promise," she agrees, her voice trembling slightly. Looking up at him, she adds a condition. He must tell her everything later, because she is his friend, too. The tension between them breaks as a wide, genuine smile spreads across his face. "Okay," he says, the single word sealing their pact. 3 days after Park Soo-hyuk's disappearance, a tense quiet hangs in the faculty office. A female teacher, Ms. Choi, approaches Mr. Lee's desk, asking if there is any news. She voices a rumor that the student went missing after visiting the school annex. Her face pales as she wonders aloud if this could be like what happened 10 years ago. Mr. Lee's expression immediately hardens. He hushes her, glancing around the room, and warning her to never bring that up. He tries to dismiss her concern, sighing that Soo-hyuk is a troublemaker who has run away before. The sharp ring of the telephone cuts through the quiet of the faculty office. Mr. Lee picks up the receiver, his face contorting in shock. The voice on the line confirms his identity as Park Soo-hyuk's homeroom teacher before delivering the chilling news. A missing person report has officially been filed. Elsewhere, a student with a bandaged nose takes a frantic phone call. "Tate-rin," she cries out. Her friend's voice comes through, small and distant, explaining that the police came to the school, asking everyone questions. "I overheard something," she adds ominously. Her friend's voice trembles over the phone, explaining they found a baseball cap on the walking trail behind the school. An image flashes of the distinctive purple cap Park Soo-hyuk always wore. "This is just my guess," her friend whispers nervously, "but it's really a ghost." From her hospital bed, the girl with the bandaged nose just smirks. "Things are getting interesting, huh?" she muses, before giving a stern warning. Wherever she goes, she must never mention Choo Eun Ha. "You want me to show up at school like this?" she asks, gesturing to her swollen face. A student argues into her phone, her face pale with fear. "But what about me?" she pleads. The voice on the other end cuts her off, demanding she kneel since it is all covered. The phone snaps shut. Standing by a brick wall and trash cans, Kim Tae-rin trembles, remembering the taunts. "You think this is fun?" the voice had asked, threatening to deal with her right then and there. Letting out a furious scream, she kicks the nearby bins in a fit of rage. Meanwhile, on a hospital balcony, another student considers the situation. "First fainting, now he's missing," she muses. "It's like someone planned this on purpose, just to scare us." On the hospital balcony, the girl in the patient gown puzzles over the events. She thinks about how on Monday, the classroom was normal, and Park Soo-hyuk's parents assumed he had gone to school. She wonders if he just ran away from home. Suddenly, her phone vibrates with an incoming text. Curious, she opens it. Her eyes widen in utter shock. The phone slips from her trembling fingers and clatters to the ground far below. On the screen, a picture is displayed, a photo of her, standing right where she is now, taken from the ground just seconds ago. A cold dread washes over her as she realizes she is being watched. A woman in hospital pajamas walks onto the grass, her gaze fixed on a lone flip phone. She hurries to it, snatching it up and flipping it open. Her breath hitches. A message has finally come through. She wonders how this is possible, questioning if it is an error. The timestamp is from 3 days ago, from someone named Park Soo-hyuk. As the distorted screen clears, a chilling photo appears. A figure holds a small, ruined token inside a dark classroom. A whisper escapes her lips as she tries to comprehend the horrifying sight. What is that? A slow, chilling smile spreads across the woman's face as she stares at the city skyline, whispering a single name into the wind. Eun Ha. A dark promise forms in her mind. She will show her what true fear feels like. Meanwhile, back in a quiet classroom, the afternoon calm shatters. A teacher stands before his students, his expression heavy with grim news. He confirms their hushed worries. Park Soo-hyuk has not been reachable. He announces that this morning, Park Soo-hyuk was officially reported missing, asking if anyone has seen him. The teacher's final warning hangs in the air. Do not spread rumors, just go home. As students file out, whispering about the news, Choo Eun Ha stands frozen. The confirmation that Park Soo-hyuk is truly missing sends a chill through her. She slowly packs her bag in the now empty classroom, but a shadow falls over her. One of her tormentors stands in the doorway, her face a mask of rage. With a heavy step, the girl advances. Choo Eun Ha flinches, her breath catching as raw fear floods her senses. A sudden warmth spreads through Choo Eun Ha as Lee Hae Soo appears, his breath close to her ear. Her heart stammers, and she whispers his name, anxiously glancing around the empty classroom. He simply smiles, asking if she has something to say. Hesitantly, she finally asks the question weighing on her mind. If he knows where Park Soo-hyuk is. The atmosphere turns icy. Lee Hae Soo's expression darkens, his face dissolving into a chilling silhouette with a terrifying, disembodied grin. He calls the missing boy trash. "Oh," his voice echoes from the void. "I dealt with him." The classroom dissolves into darkness, leaving Choo Eun Ha suspended in a terrifying void with Lee Hae Soo. His voice is a low promise, assuring her that no one will ever find his final resting place. Her heart hammers against her ribs. Park Soo-hyuk is gone forever. A terrifying heat floods her as his monstrous shadow leans closer, reminding her that this was his vow to free her. The intensity is suffocating. Suddenly, reality crashes back. A classmate's voice cuts through the haze, asking why she is just standing there, pulling her from the chilling vision. A terrifying question echoes in Choo Eun Ha's mind. If Lee Hae Soo really did what he claimed, could she handle it? A dark part of herself just grins back at the thought. Snapping back to the present, her cheeks burn hot as she clumsily thrusts her old MP3 player toward him. Stuttering, she asks if he likes music, desperate to break the suffocating silence. It is her only hobby, she blurts out. Lee Hae Soo simply tilts his head, a hint of confusion in his eyes at the sudden, awkward shift in conversation. Choo Eun Ha nervously explains that her old MP3 player only lasts 30 minutes, trying to fill the quiet between them. A strange nostalgia flickers in Lee Hae Soo's eyes. He tells her that 10 years ago, they had what were called Walkmans. For a fleeting second, the classroom dissolves into a hazy memory of him listening to a cassette tape under a willow tree. The air grows warm, thick with the intimacy of this shared glimpse into his past. But just as quickly, he dismisses it all as ancient history that holds no meaning, his voice turning cold. Confused, she asks why. You used to like it, remember? Choo Eun Ha says, her voice filled with confusion. Lee Hae Soo's gaze turns distant, a strange melancholy in his eyes. He tells her, I was never the one who liked it. His cryptic words hang in the air, following her as she walks home alone under the sunset. Her mind races, connecting the dots. He must be talking about that friend from his past. A shiver runs through her as she recalls his sudden, dark shifts in personality. A theory forms. Is that friend the reason he cannot leave this school? She is still too scared to ask him directly. The city glows with the warmth of the setting sun, but a chill runs through Choo Eun Ha. Her grip tightens on her bag strap as she replays the moment, admitting she was too frozen by fear to do anything. A terrible question surfaces, coiling in her gut. He did not go too far with Park Soo-hyuk, did he? She pushes the thought away, clinging to the belief that Lee Hae Soo has a good heart, despite his frightening side. Tomorrow, she vows, she will find the courage to ask him directly as she climbs the stairs home. The moment Choo Eun Ha opens her front door, a figure emerges from the shadows. Her breath catches. It is Park Soo-hyuk, a bandage stark against his nose, a chilling smile playing on his lips. He muses that her house has not moved, then pushes past her. The door clicks shut, trapping them in the sudden, oppressive warmth as her heart hammers against her ribs. He takes a slow breath, commenting on the familiar musty smell. Can we talk for a moment? He asks, his voice a low promise. Just talk. His intense gaze pins her in place. A footstep sounds in the apartment. Choo Eun Ha flinches, her eyes wide with terror as she stares at an unexpected visitor. A woman with a bandage on her nose offers a condescending smile. Eun Ha's voice trembles as she demands to know how she got in. The woman simply taunts her, asking why she is being so hostile to a guest and mocking the rundown state of the home. Overwhelmed, Eun Ha orders her to get out. The woman's grin widens as she leans forward, challenging her with a simple question, what if I don't? Choo Eun Ha stands her ground, fists trembling at her sides as she declares she is not afraid anymore. The woman breaks into a fit of mocking laughter. You've become brave, haven't you? She taunts, pointing out that Eun Ha cannot hide her shaking. Eun Ha flinches, her resolve crumbling. The woman's smile turns sinister as she reaches behind her back. Instead of a weapon, she pulls out an old flip phone. She holds up the screen, explaining it is a photo from Park Soo-hyuk that she just received today. The image on the phone shows a cat sprawled across a desk. Choo Eun Ha's breath catches. It is her desk. Before she can question it, the woman lunges, pressing the cold, heavy edge of a metal tool against her neck. Eun Ha gasps, frozen in terror. Listen carefully. The woman whispers, her voice intense. She explains that she always lived a normal life, but recently, bizarre things have started happening. One person vanished without a trace, she says, while another is left terrified, insisting it was the work of a ghost. The woman snaps the flip phone shut, her eyes burning with accusation. Leaning closer, she presses the cold metal harder against Choo Eun Ha's throat. What did you do? She hisses, demanding to know if this is some kind of curse. Eun Ha's mind races back to Lee Hae Soo's dark, possessive promise that those who tormented her would never set foot in the classroom again. The memory of his words is a phantom warmth against the icy terror. But the feeling vanishes as reality crashes down. He is not here. She is utterly alone. A strange smile spreads across the woman's face as she lowers the metal tool. "Oh, don't be so afraid," she says, insisting she could never harm anyone. But her hand slips into her pocket, wrapping around a lighter. Her gaze shifts, locking onto a nearby aerosol can. Just as Choo Eun Ha gasps, a sudden warmth envelopes her. A dark figure moves in a blur, pulling her into an embrace of safety. Lee Hae Soo now stands before her, a protective wall, holding the can and the lighter he took, the air growing thick with his silent promise. A cruel smile stretches across the woman's face as she leans over Choo Eun Ha. She whispers that true fun is tormenting someone until they completely break. A sharp click echoes in the room, and a small flame dances to life in her hand. The sudden heat is a terrifying promise, a stark contrast to the protective warmth Eun Ha desperately needs. Her heart pounds a frantic rhythm against her ribs, a silent plea for the one who can make this nightmare stop. The woman laughs, holding the can and lighter ready. A wide, unsettling smile spreads across the girl's face as she holds a small bottle. She admits she knows Choo Eun Ha is plotting something. "You hated Park Soo-hyuk that much?" she asks, her voice deceptively casual. Leaning in, she presses a finger to Eun Ha's forehead, offering to hand the boy over as a twisted gift. Stunned into silence, Eun Ha can only stare back in horror. The girl waves him off as a disposable tool, promising to make sure no one at school can ever touch her again, a dangerous proposition hanging in the air. The girl's smile widens, finding the situation suddenly entertaining. She admits she was getting bored, but now she is curious to see how far Choo Eun Ha will go. "Give it your best shot," she challenges. Her expression darkens as she presses a bottle firmly against Eun Ha's cheek. The cold surface is a stark warning. She wonders aloud what might happen to Eun Ha's pretty skin if she were to fail. Terror grips Eun Ha as she whispers that she understands. Her tormentor looks on, a triumphant and chilling grin on her face. The chilling thought crosses Choo Eun Ha's mind. Kim Tae-rin is the type who would harm someone without a second thought. The message is crystal clear. Later, as dusk settles, Eun Ha numbly opens a can for dinner. Her solitude is broken when Kim Tae-rin appears at her door, a bandage on her face but a triumphant smirk on her lips. She dares Eun Ha to call the authorities, boasting that prosecutors and police are all family friends. With chilling confidence, she promises she will never face consequences. "See you at school tomorrow," she chirps, leaving the threat hanging in the air. In the suffocating silence of her empty home, Choo Eun Ha's composure finally shatters. Tears stream down her face as she collapses, overwhelmed by despair. Her thoughts drift, not to the mother whose face is a faded memory, or the distant father she rarely sees. The person her heart aches for is not even among the living. She thinks of her friend, believing he is still at school. Across town, in a dark, moonlit classroom, Lee Hae Soo sits alone by the window, a perfect mirror to her own profound loneliness, waiting. Under the light of a full moon, a student stumbles through a dense forest, his breath catching in his throat. He wonders why he cannot seem to get off this stupid hill, feeling like he has been walking for an entire day. A stark red message reveals the grim truth. Park Soo-hyuk has been missing for 2 days. He clutches his head, trying to piece things together. His last clear memory is sending a photo from his phone after class. Then, a terrifying, distorted image floods his mind, a ghost. He recalls meeting that figure on the mountain, just before a cold hand grabbed his face. A burning memory surfaces, the feeling of his muscles on fire as he desperately tried to run. He gasps for air, still trapped on this dark, desolate mountain. His phone is useless, the screen showing no signal and a dying battery. He clutches his throat, a searing thirst making it hard to breathe. The phantom sensation of something sharp under his skin returns, followed by a horrible wriggling. He recalls the intense agony, but now, a strange calm settles over him. He feels no pain at all. Mist swirls through the dark, lonely woods as Park Soo-hyuk trudges forward. A faint, muffled sound cuts through the oppressive silence. A voice. Hope ignites in his eyes. Could it be a person? Not caring who it is, so long as they are human, he shouts into the fog. "Hey, over here." He listens intently, relieved the sound is not the voice from his terrifying memories. Lifting his phone, he pleads, "Who's there?" The flashlight illuminates his own horribly twisted face as he begs into the darkness. Please, help me. Drawn by faint voices, a lone figure trudges into the eerie, mist-filled woods, wondering if he should press forward into the unknown. The scene shifts to a quiet school hallway where Choo Eun Ha stands frozen before a classroom door. The air grows thick and warm around her. She reaches out a trembling hand, but falters. Her heart hammers against her ribs, a frantic rhythm that makes her feel sick to her stomach. Clutching her shirt, she is overwhelmed by a consuming dread, her wide eyes reflecting a terror she cannot escape. The memory of yesterday flashes through her mind, a classmate's unsettling smile and a chilling promise to see her at school. Her fear holds her captive right where she stands. Suddenly, the classroom door slides open, revealing Lee Hae Soo. His dark eyes scan her face with concern as he asks what is wrong. A wave of intense heat washes over Choo Eun Ha, and she flinches back, unable to form words. His gentle expression evaporates, replaced by a sharp intensity. He leans in closer, his voice low and demanding. Something happened, didn't it? He presses. Tell me right now. The air around them grows thick, radiating an intense heat as tears well in Choo Eun Ha's eyes. She begs Lee Hae Soo to stop, her voice a strained whisper as she fights to keep from breaking down. Suddenly, her panic gives way to a dark realization, and a chilling smile spreads across her face. A single thought consumes her. She can ask him to deal with Kim Tae-rin for good. The sudden shift in her energy is palpable. Lee Hae Soo's sharp gaze narrows, sensing the change instantly. He leans closer, his voice low. Wait a second. Choo Eun Ha. Choo Eun Ha steps back, asking for a moment to think alone before turning and walking down the empty hall. Lee Hae Soo watches her go, his expression tight with concern as he quietly asks if she can wait. As she disappears from view, a classroom door slides open nearby. Kim Tae-rin steps out, greeting her surprised classmates with a bright smile. While they talk, a sinister shadow with piercing eyes watches them from the window's reflection. Far away in the school courtyard, Choo Eun Ha sits alone, her head buried in her hands. Sitting alone on a bench, Choo Eun Ha's thoughts spiral. She calls herself an idiot, recalling how just yesterday she was worried for Park Soo-hyuk, yet now she is contemplating having Kim Tae-rin removed from her life for good. Her hand clenches into a tight fist as she decides this is the only way. Dark memories surge, reminding her of the pain she endured and the scars left behind. An inner voice calls this a once-in-a-lifetime chance to make them pay. An image of Lee Hae Soo's menacing smile flashes in her mind. Her own eyes widen in turmoil as a single question haunts her. I was the one who suffered, so why am I the one who is worried? Choo Eun Ha's hands clench into tight fists. Why should she be the one agonizing over this? A thought solidifies in her mind, her heart pounding with the certainty of it. Lee Hae Soo is with her, and he can handle anything. They are friends, after all. As she whispers this reassurance to herself, the sound of footsteps pulls her from her thoughts. They stop directly in front of her. She looks up, startled, to see a boy with glasses. He calmly touches a beaded rosary on his wrist, remarking that he did not come with her this time. Choo Eun Ha flinches, his words catching in her ears. He is referring to the thing that is always by her side. A tremor of shock runs through her as she stares up at him, her heart hammering against her ribs. How can he know? She glances at his name tag, Choi Jeon-woo, a senior. He leans in, his voice dropping as he asks about the annex. Kneeling before her, his gaze locks onto hers, creating an intense pressure. He warns her to stay away, insisting the danger is far greater than she could imagine. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen in shock as she hears the warning. A classmate urges her to distance herself from that entity, fearing for her safety. Confusion and fear grip Eun Ha. Her heart races as she questions the meaning behind these cryptic words. The classmate insists she listen carefully, but Eun Ha, overwhelmed, turns away abruptly. Her mind reels as she tries to make sense of the situation, the tension between her and the mysterious entity intensifying. The classmate calls out desperately, but Eun Ha hesitates, torn between trust and instinct. Choo Eun Ha stands frozen, her eyes reflecting torment as Choi Jeon-woo speaks softly, acknowledging her unseen struggles. His words pierce her soul, hinting at the price of her reliance on the ghostly protector. Eun Ha's heart aches with confusion and fear, her voice trembling as she questions his sudden interest. Jeon-woo fidgets nervously, revealing his name and grade. yet his curiosity deepens the mystery. The tension thickens as Eun Ha wonders if he knows more about her dark companion, her world teetering between reality and the unknown. Choo Eun Ha's eyes betray her fear as she declares, "I don't know anything about you, senior," her voice quivering. Choi Jianwoo, visibly shaken, stammers, "So how can I believe anything you're saying?" His hands tremble as he pleads for understanding. Time ticks by, tension mounting. As a teacher interrupts, Eun Ha's heart sinks. She taps Jianwoo urgently, her desperation palpable. The weight of their exchange lingers, amplifying the mystery and unease surrounding her enigmatic protector. The line between trust and fear blurs, leaving Eun Ha lost in a labyrinth of uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as whispers of rumors swirl around her. Eyes wide with anxiety, she overhears Choi Jianwoo's trembling voice declare, "I'll be waiting." The tension thickens as peers speculate about her mysterious connection. Her mind reels, questioning the truth behind the gossip. Suddenly, a gentle tap at the window startles her. Taeran's concerned face peeks through. "Taeran!" Eun Ha exclaims, her voice tinged with relief. Taeran's brows furrow as she urges, "If you were coming today, you should have told me." The weight of secrets and misunderstandings presses heavily on Eun Ha, her world teetering on the edge of chaos. Spring arrives, but for Choo Eun Ha, it brings no warmth. Outside, Taeran confronts her with frustration, demanding answers. Inside, Eun Ha's heart pounds as she listens to the whispered plans against her. Taeran's friend suggests confronting Eun Ha and finding Park Soo-hyuk, but Taeran resists, urging restraint. Confusion and fear cloud Eun Ha's thoughts. Why are they plotting? The tension escalates as Taeran's friend questions her silence, hinting at deeper secrets. Eun Ha's isolation deepens, her world tightening its grip, leaving her to wonder if anyone truly understands her plight. Whispers of fear fill the air as a friend accuses Choo Eun Ha's ghostly companion of targeting Park Soo-hyuk. Eyes widen with urgency, demanding action. Taeran's resolve falters under the pressure, her words tinged with self-doubt. If the spirit exists, shouldn't she be more worried? The tension thickens as fingers tremble, voices clash, and secrets unravel. "We only tormented Eun Ha because we trusted you," a shaken voice confesses. Taeran's hesitation deepens, her grip tightening, as she grapples with newfound revelations and the weight of their actions. Conflicted, Taeran struggles under the weight of her friend's accusations. Eyes narrowed, she insists she isn't to blame, but admits the situation frustrates her. With a sigh, she berates their tormentors, calling them senseless. The pressure mounts as she orders her friend to obey silently, then turns to leave. Panicked, the friend calls out, revealing Eun Ha's peculiar behavior in class. Muttering to an empty seat, Eun Ha's actions spark fear, as if a hidden presence haunts them. Taeran's unease grows, sensing the room's eerie silence, as she ponders the strange turn of events. Choo Eun Ha's heart thumps wildly as her eyes widen, her breath caught in a silent scream. Pages flip frantically, revealing the name, Lee Hae Soo. Panic grips her as she whispers the name, her voice trembling with a mixture of fear and familiarity. The air grows heavy, her mind racing with questions. What is this dark presence that haunts her thoughts? Shadows deepen, and her chest tightens. The room seems to suffocate her, the tension palpable, as she struggles to comprehend the eerie connection that binds her to this ghostly figure. Her eyes dart around, searching for answers, the silence more unnerving than any sound. Choo Eun Ha's heart pounds with an urgent rhythm, thump, 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 as she clutches a cup, her mind consumed by an unsettling feeling. Memories of a past encounter with Lee Hae Soo surge through her, mixing fear and confusion. This feeling, she wonders, her eyes scanning the quiet classroom. Time seems to stretch as she stands by the window, lost in thought. A classmate calls out hesitantly, Taeran," but her attention remains elsewhere, her thoughts rooted in the eerie presence that haunts her, leaving her shaken and uncertain. The air feels heavy, charged with the weight of her unspoken fears. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she pleads, "Stop." The air crackles with tension, her eyes wide with desperation. Lee Hae Soo looms, a menacing shadow. His gaze intensifies, and she gasps, "Why?" The darkness enfolds them, his words echoing ominously. "Isn't this what you wanted?" Her heart pounds, fear clashing with confusion. Their bond deepens, blurred between protection and menace. The classroom fades into a darkened haze, amplifying the eerie, unsettling connection that grips Eun Ha's soul. The line between friend and foe blurs, leaving her paralyzed with uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she confronts Kim Tae-rin, her voice trembling. "Stop. Why?" she whispers, bewildered by the sudden attention. The classroom buzzes with murmurs, all eyes on them. Eun Ha's gaze flickers nervously, searching for an escape. Lee Hae Soo's chilling presence lingers, his words echoing. "Isn't this what you wanted?" As Eun Ha's fear mounts, she pleads, "Don't touch my things." The tension thickens, her resolve wavering under the weight of Hae Soo's enigmatic protection and the tormentor's relentless pressure. Choo Eun Ha's heart pounds as Kim Tae-rin approaches, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Have you lost your mind?" she taunts. Eun Ha's eyes widen in shock, her mind racing. Tae-rin smirks, revealing a notebook. "Is that guy's name Lee Hae Soo?" "Your guest," she mocks. Eun Ha's confusion deepens as Tae-rin pushes the notebook toward her. "Go on, take it," she urges. Eun Ha hesitates, her thoughts swirling. The tension escalates as the notebook thuds to the floor, symbolizing the weight of secrets and the blurred line between protection and menace. Kim Tae-rin's scream echoes through the classroom, her face twisted in distress. Her wrist clenches tightly, discomfort evident as she cries out. Eun Ha watches in horror, her voice trembling as she calls out, "Tae-rin." The tension escalates as a mysterious figure grips Tae-rin's arm, gripping it fiercely. Tae-rin's fear intensifies, her cries growing louder. The figure's menacing grin sends chills down everyone's spine. Eun Ha's heart races, questioning the unfolding chaos. The classroom buzzes with confusion, the line between protection and menace blurring further as the scene unfolds dramatically. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she pleads, "Kim Tae-rin, are you okay?" The classroom buzzes with confusion, students murmuring about her. The teacher sternly orders them to sit, but the tension lingers. Eun Ha's classmates speculate, casting judgmental glances. "She's so weird," whispers one girl. Eun Ha's heart sinks, feeling the weight of isolation. As the first period begins, the room trembles with unease. The line between protector and menace blurs, leaving Eun Ha entangled in a web of fear and uncertainty, questioning the true nature of her ghostly companion. Whispers of disdain fill the air as classmates murmur, "She gives me the creeps." Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with hurt, tears brimming at the edges. Lee Hae Soo's menacing grin grows as he contemplates their noise, pondering silently if he should quiet them all. Eun Ha's voice quivers. Wait a minute." She questions the escalating darkness, her resolve wavering. The tension thickens, the line between protector and threat blurring as Eun Ha grapples with the unsettling reality of her ghostly companion's intentions. The classroom buzzes with unease, leaving Eun Ha entangled in a web of fear and uncertainty. The classroom fills with an eerie silence as Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles, pleading, "Hae Soo, I'm begging you, please." Her eyes widen in horror as the air around her seems to thicken with dread. Lee Hae Soo's menacing grin looms closer, his presence overwhelming. Eun Ha's heart races, her body trembling uncontrollably. "Not now," she whispers desperately, fighting the encroaching darkness. The tension escalates as Hae Soo's hand reaches out, fingers curling ominously. Eun Ha's fear intensifies, her mind grappling with the realization that her protector might also be her greatest threat. The line between safety and peril blurs, leaving her trapped in a nightmare of her own making. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen in shock as she witnesses a classmate's desperate plea for help, his voice trembling with fear. The air crackles with tension as the boy demands an ambulance. His wrist inexplicably disappeared. Eun Ha's heart pounds, her mind racing with confusion and terror. Lee Hae Soo's shadowy presence looms, his actions a blur of menace and protection. The girl's thoughts swirl, questioning Hae Soo's true intentions. Is he a guardian or a harbinger of chaos? As the class erupts in chaos, Eun Ha's grip on reality falters, her world spiraling into a nightmarish uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's heart clenches as she watches a classmate's wrist disappear, his cries echoing in the tense silence. Lee Hae Soo's shadowy form moves swiftly, his voice cold yet reassuring. "Just say the word." His menacing grin sends shivers down her spine. "I'll take care of them all for you," he whispers. Eun Ha's eyes fill with tears, her mind torn between gratitude and fear. "Trust only me," Hae Soo insists, his words a double-edged sword. The room darkens as Eun Ha's resolve falters, her world teetering on the edge of chaos and protection. As the sun sets over the school, casting long shadows, Choo Eun Ha's mind wanders, her expression distant. A sudden clang startles her, but she hesitates when a voice calls out, "Halt." Her heart races, recalling the day's chaos. Inside the nurse's office, whispers hint at Kim Taeran's early departure. Eun Ha's thoughts spiral, imagining dire consequences if the teacher hadn't intervened. A sinister shadow looms, declaring, "That pest? I eliminated him." Eun Ha's eyes well up, her inner turmoil deepening as she wonders about the line between protection and peril. The tension grips her tightly, leaving her world hanging by a thread. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with realization. A ghost's motives differ from humans. She questions if someone so powerful would aid her without expecting anything in return. Her heart aches as she wonders about their friendship's authenticity. "Because I'm his friend?" she murmurs, her voice trembling. Doubt floods her mind. What does she truly know about Lee Hae Soo? Determination flickers in her gaze as she clenches her fist. "Hae Soo, I want to know more about you," she declares, her resolve firm. The tension thickens, leaving her world suspended between curiosity and fear. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with a mix of fear and curiosity as she whispers, "Hae Soo." Her hand clenches tightly, squeezing an unseen object. The tension builds as she glances around, her heart pounding. She yearns to understand more about the enigmatic figure who has become both her protector and tormentor. As the sun sets, casting a warm glow over the school grounds, Eun Ha's resolve strengthens. She declares, "I want to know more about you," her voice trembling yet determined. The creaking door echoes her uncertainty, but her gaze remains resolute, ready to unravel the mystery surrounding Lee Hae Soo. Choo Eun Ha ascends the stairs, her heart racing with determination. She whispers reassurances to herself, "It's okay. I won't get caught." Her eyes dart nervously as she reaches the third floor where the classrooms lie. The hallway stretches before her, bathed in the golden light of sunset. She gulps, her resolve unwavering despite the creeping shadows. With a deep breath, she approaches the student council room, her fingers trembling as they grasp the doorknob. The tension builds within her, a mix of fear and anticipation, as she prepares to uncover the truth about Lee Hae Soo. Choo Eun Ha's fingers tremble as she grasps the doorknob, her heart pounding with determination. She whispers to herself, "I just have to meet that upperclassman." The door rattles ominously, her confusion mounting. Suddenly, a shadowy figure looms behind her. "I knew it," he murmurs, startling her. Eun Ha flinches, her eyes widening in shock. "So you did come," he continues, his tone tinged with disappointment. The tension thickens as she realizes her mistake. The student council uses a different room. Her mind races, grappling with the unexpected encounter and the looming presence of Lee Hae Soo. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she steps into the makeshift student council room, her eyes wide with nervous anticipation. The upperclassman apologizes for startling her, inviting her inside despite the room's rundown state. Eun Ha's mind whirls as she hands over a note, her voice trembling. "That boy can't leave school," the note reads, urging him to learn more. The upperclassman's gaze softens, reassuring her, "Don't worry, it's safe here." The tension eases slightly, yet Eun Ha's anxiety lingers, her resolve to uncover the truth about Lee Hae Soo unwavering. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen as the upperclassman explains the mysterious Ipchunchup charms, ensuring ghosts cannot enter. His calm demeanor contrasts with her mounting unease. He reassures her, "It won't be able to eavesdrop on our conversation," easing her fears momentarily. Eun Ha hesitantly asks if he's one of those people, someone special. With a gentle laugh, he clarifies, "Just someone who sees things differently since childhood." His admission of being a coward adds depth to his character, leaving Eun Ha both intrigued and conflicted. The tension builds as she grapples with the revelation, her resolve to understand Hae Soo's true nature intensifying. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen in shock as the upperclassman reveals the annex building's dark history. Her heart pounds, mirroring the dread in his voice as he confesses, "People lost their lives there under tragic circumstances." The weight of his words settles heavily, her mind grappling with the revelation. The annex, once a sanctuary, now looms as a place of terror. Eun Ha's resolve falters, her voice trembling. "This is the first I'm hearing about this." The upperclassman's solemn expression underscores the gravity, insisting, "The school would obviously keep it under wraps." The tension thickens, leaving Eun Ha questioning everything she thought she knew about Lee Hae Soo and the school's hidden truths. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen as the upperclassman speaks of rumors swirling around class 3-1. Her heart races, her mind consumed by the possibility that Lee Hae Soo might be connected to the tragic past. She stammers, acknowledging the ghost sightings but feeling an unsettling truth dawn. The classroom's eerie silence amplifies her fear. Eun Ha wonders if closing the annex was enough. Recalling the night, she saw multiple spirits. Doubt gnaws at her, questioning if all the ghosts were indeed from class 3-1. The tension mounts as she grapples with the chilling realization that Hae Soo's presence may be more sinister than she imagined. Choo Eun Ha flinches as the upperclassman reveals a chilling truth. His voice carries a somber tone, hinting at a larger issue. The ominous energy once confined to the annex now permeates the main building, spreading shadows across the campus. He shares his recent highly dangerous incidents linked to these entities, each word deepening Eun Ha's dread. Her mind races, connecting the dots. Last week's seance in the annex led to this escalating nightmare. As the upperclassman recounts these moments, Eun Ha's grip tightens, her heart pounding with the realization that her actions have unleashed something terrifying. The tension thickens, leaving her to confront the consequences of her unwitting summoning. Choo Eun Ha's heart sinks as she realizes the depth of Lee Hae Soo's darkness. Her eyes widen with horror, her mind racing with the implications. The upperclassman confesses his regret, admitting he witnessed her frequent visits to the annex yet chose to hide, fearing involvement with the supernatural. His voice trembles, echoing his guilt for not intervening sooner. Eun Ha feels a wave of despair, her hands trembling as she processes the weight of his words. The tension thickens, leaving her to grapple with the chilling realization that her actions have unleashed a force beyond her control. The room grows silent, amplifying the gravity of their shared burden. The upperclassman rushes in, apologizing profusely as Choo Eun Ha stares with wide eyes. He questions her about other spirits, sensing something amiss from the start. Eun Ha hesitates, admitting she hasn't seen anyone else since the seance. The upperclassman grows serious, asking why she keeps referring to the ghost as him. Eun Ha's face flushes with confusion and fear, her heart racing. The tension in the room thickens as the upperclassman leans in, urging her to describe the entity. The gravity of their conversation weighs heavily, leaving Eun Ha to grapple with unsettling truths. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she faces a classmate's probing gaze. "Why do you keep calling that ghost him?" he questions, his voice tinged with suspicion. Eun Ha hesitates, her mind swirling with confusion. "Well, to you," she stammers, unsure how to explain her bond with Lee Hae Soo. The classmate scribbles notes, revealing his ability to sense spirits since childhood. His tone grows somber as he confesses losing someone close, warning Eun Ha about hidden motives. The tension thickens, leaving Eun Ha to ponder the truth behind Hae Soo's enigmatic presence. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen as she gazes at the eerie silhouette drawn by her classmate. "That ghost always looks like this," he whispers, his voice heavy with sorrow. Eun Ha's heart clenches, recognizing the form. Lee Hae Soo's initial guise. The tension mounts as she realizes the senior has seen him all along. Hae Soo's menacing grin looms in the shadows, his voice echoing, "Trust only me." Eun Ha's confusion deepens, questioning if Hae Soo's comforting facade hides sinister intentions. The night grows darker, amplifying her fear and uncertainty. The classmate's warning resonates as Choo Eun Ha's mind races, her eyes fixed on the shadowy figure looming between them. He cautions, "Ghosts reveal their true selves when you're most comfortable," his voice trembling with unease. The tension peaks as he scribbles frantically, his doubts surfacing. Was I too hasty? The name Lee Hae Soo circles ominously on his paper, fueling Eun Ha's fear. As night thickens, her dependence on Hae Soo's comfort clashes with the classmate's revelations, entangling her in a web of uncertainty and dread. Lee Hae Soo's name pulses in Choo Eun Ha's mind as her classmate scribbles, his doubts tangling with Eun Ha's fear. He whispers, pondering Lee Hae Soo's appearance and Eun Ha's connection to him. His mind races, questioning the ghost's motives and Eun Ha's safety. As night deepens, the classmate's confusion grows. Eun Ha's dependency on Hae Soo's comfort wrestles with the classmate's revelations, weaving a complex web of uncertainty and dread. Choo Eun Ha clutches the prayer beads tightly, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. The The beads clink softly as she holds them up, her eyes meeting the classmate's concerned gaze. He extends the beads toward her, explaining their significance. The beads, a cherished heirloom, now offer solace in her moment of vulnerability. As night envelopes the playground, Eun Ha's resolve strengthens. She whispers, her voice trembling, "Whatever it is, as long as I have my prayer beads." The tension builds, her faith echoing in the darkness. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen as her classmate explains the beads' power to detect spirits. The tension thickens as he describes how the beads turn black in the presence of a malevolent force. Eun Ha's hand trembles, clutching the beads tightly. She whispers, her voice barely audible, "This means I can check on Hae Soo." Her confusion and fear intertwine as she contemplates using the beads to uncover the truth. The classmate continues, his tone earnest, acknowledging the disbelief but urging her to at least consider his words. The air brims with uncertainty and dread. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she clutches the prayer beads, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and determination. The classmate urges her to see Hae Soo's true nature, his voice earnest. Eun Ha gulps, feeling the weight of his words. As she swings on the playground, she reflects on the day's revelations, her mind swirling with thoughts of those who harm and those who warn. The beads, a symbol of comfort, now hold a terrifying power. Lee Hae Soo's presence looms in her thoughts, the tension thickening as she wonders if he's a guardian or something darker. Choo Eun Ha's resolve hardens as she swings, clutching the beads. Lee Hae Soo's figure lingers in her mind, his words echoing, "Those who reach out." Despite her fear, she thinks about the drawing, a symbol of their twisted bond. With her eyes wide and determined, she whispers, "No choice." Flames roar in her vision, a bridge to an uncertain future. The tension builds as she contemplates the paths before her, her heart pounding with the weight of her decision. The beads, once comforting, now signify a dangerous alliance. Choo Eun Ha's heart pounds as she clutches the beads, her mind recalling the first time she saw Hae Soo. Fingers tighten, reflecting her inner turmoil. Even if he's dangerous, she wonders if she can escape. Summoning him left her entrapped. Night falls as she checks locks, eyes wide, fearing intrusion. A thought creeps in. Has she crossed a point of no return? The tension thickens, her resolve wavering between fear and curiosity, her fate intertwined with the ghostly figure's secrets. Rain lashes against the dark, foreboding sky as Choo Eun Ha's footsteps echo through the deserted schoolyard. Her heart races, each splash of water underscoring her fear and determination. "Let's go," she whispers, her voice barely audible over the downpour. Her expression is grim, her eyes reflecting the turmoil of her soul. Shadows loom behind her, the "do not enter" sign a silent warning. The tension thickens, a harbinger of the uncertain path she's chosen, tangled with the enigmatic mystery of Lee Hae Soo. The rain pours down as Choo Eun Ha holds her umbrella tightly, her nerves frayed. She slips a mysterious rosary onto her wrist, feeling an unsettling chill. The classroom might hold answers, but she must act cautiously to avoid Lee Hae Soo's notice. Eun Ha's thoughts race as she tries to calm herself, unsure if the beads signal a malevolent presence. With each step, her anxiety grows, blurring the lines between protection and peril. The ghostly figure's true intentions weigh heavily on her mind, testing her resolve in this rainy torment. The rain pelts down as Choo Eun Ha grips her umbrella, her heart pounding with trepidation. She clenches the mysterious rosary, her fingers squeezing tightly. "Did I hear that wrong?" she whispers, her voice trembling. Determination flickers in her eyes as she declares, "All right, I'll go in and do that." Amidst the downpour, she takes a deep breath, bracing herself for the unknown. Lee Hae Soo's cryptic presence lingers, leaving Eun Ha unsure if the beads signal protection or peril. Each step she takes brings her closer to unraveling the enigmatic connection, her nerves stretched thin. The rain continues its relentless assault as Choo Eun Ha clutches her umbrella tightly, her heart aching with uncertainty. She whispers to herself, contemplating if she misheard a voice amidst the constant tension. Her gaze shifts to the rosary on her wrist, finding solace in its intact form. With a trembling hand, she strokes the beads, seeking reassurance. As she stands alone in the downpour, her emotions swirl, blurring the line between reality and fear. The looming mystery of Lee Hae Soo looms, testing her resolve in this tempestuous moment. The rain lashes against Choo Eun Ha's umbrella as she hears a chilling whisper, her eyes widening in terror. "Run!" echoes in her mind, sending shivers down her spine. She questions the source of the voice, her heart racing. What is that? Whose voice is that? She wonders aloud, panic rising. The sound of footsteps grows louder, and she realizes something sinister is close. "It was right behind me," she gasps, fear gripping her. Determined to escape, she thinks, "I need to run away," her resolve strengthening amidst the storm's fury. The tension thickens as she faces an unseen threat, her fate hanging in the balance. Choo Eun Ha sprints through the rain, her heart pounding as she whispers, "It's coming." Her breath catches as she trips, landing hard on the ground. She gasps for air, her mind racing. Since when? She wonders, her voice trembling. The rain pelts her skin as she clutches her umbrella, her eyes darting nervously. Did he leave? She questions, her hope fading. Her gaze shifts to her wrist, where the letters remain. No, they haven't disappeared yet, she realizes, her voice barely above a whisper. The tension builds as she struggles to understand the looming threat in this stormy night. Choo Eun Ha clutches her chest, the storm battering her senses. Relief washes over her as she thinks the threat has passed, whispering that everything is back to normal. But a sudden jolt of fear seizes her when she spots a dark mark on her clothes. The realization that washing it only made things worse sends a chill through her. Her mind races, wondering if her gym clothes were in the classroom all along. The rain pelts her skin as she gasps in horror, the tension amplifying her dread. Panic grips her as she ponders the sinister presence that may still linger. Choo Eun Ha clutches her umbrella, her eyes wide with terror as she senses an eerie presence. The rain pours down, intensifying her fear. So that voice, it really was a ghost? She whispers, her voice trembling. Her mind races, trying to grasp the situation. Why am I only sensing them now? She questions, dread filling her. A shadowy figure looms behind her, murmuring, "Run away." Eun Ha's heart pounds, overwhelmed by the warning. What should she flee? "AV. Oid." The voice echoes, leaving her bewildered and terrified. The tension mounts as she grapples with the unknown, her world spiraling into chaos. Choo Eun Ha's mind races under the relentless rain as she thinks she heard a warning about avoiding something, but the downpour muffled the crucial details. Worried, she considers if Lee Hae Soo is involved, but dismisses it, concluding he would speak if it were him. The tension builds as she hurries to class, soaked and frustrated, murmuring about her appearance. Suddenly, a jolt of realization hits her. She remembers the cryptic advice to avoid an unnamed threat, amplifying her fear and confusion. Choo Eun Ha holds her umbrella, her heart pounding as eerie whispers echo, "Avoid the water." Fear grips her, her eyes widening as she hears faint, desperate cries. Water drips from taps, growing louder, amplifying her dread. Her eyes widen in terror, her mind whirling with confusion and fear. What does the water signify? The tension thickens, her resolve faltering as she tries to make sense of the cryptic warning. The rain intensifies, her fear mounting, as she grapples with the dark, unknown threat looming over her world. Choo Eun Ha's heart thunders as she stands alone in the pouring rain. Desperation washes over her as she recalls being trapped in the annex, her fear intertwining with the relentless downpour. She struggles, her body contorting as she fights against an unseen force. Her cries echo through the night, her resolve crumbling. Finally, she collapses, her breaths labored. "This feeling," she whispers, her voice a fragile thread. Done. The rain continues to pour, her terror mingling with the cold, relentless water. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she clutches the rosary, her eyes wide with fear. Lee Hae Soo's menacing smile looms closer, whispering, "Let's go. Together. To the pond." Eun Ha's heart races, panic rising as she realizes the nearest door is blocked. Her voice cracks. "What should I do?" The rain pours down, mirroring her turmoil. Hae Soo's grip tightens, his ghostly presence overwhelming her senses. The tension in the air thickens, each second stretching into an eternity of uncertainty and dread. Choo Eun Ha's mind races as she plans her escape. Climbing the hill toward the parking lot, she thinks she can find another door. Determination fills her eyes. There's no time to hesitate. She sprints through the rain, her heart pounding. Suddenly, a chilling voice whispers, "Run." Fear grips her as a menacing shadow looms closer. Eun Ha's breath catches in her throat, her pulse racing wildly. The tension escalates as she realizes the urgency of her situation, her every step a desperate bid for freedom from the looming threat. Choo Eun Ha screams as a forceful hand grabs her shoulder, her terror palpable. "Aya!" she shrieks, her voice echoing in the rain-soaked night. Panic grips her as she tries to break free, shouting, "No!" Desperation fills her thoughts. She cannot be caught like this. With a fierce cry, she kicks out, landing a strike that sends her pursuer staggering. "Ag!" she yells, collapsing to the ground, gasping for breath. Her mind races, heart pounding, as she whispers, "Tich! This monster!" The tension hangs heavy, her every breath a testament to her struggle for survival. Choo Eun Ha's scream pierces the rainy night as a forceful grip tightens around her collar. Her terror is evident, her voice echoing desperately, "Let go!" Panic surges through her veins as she fights back, her kicks sending her attacker stumbling. Gasping for breath, she pleads, "Go away. I told you to leave." Her eyes widen with desperation, each slap a cry for freedom. The tension thickens as her assailant hesitates, confusion flickering in their gaze. Eun Ha's heart pounds, her every movement a desperate attempt to escape the looming threat. The rain-soaked scene captures her struggle, her fear palpable in the air. Amidst the downpour, Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she realizes her blows land on nothing but air. Her assailant's eerie grin intensifies, his voice a chilling whisper, "Don't be scared." Confusion and fear clash within her. She recognizes him, the ghostly figure from the annex. His unsettling presence overwhelms her senses. "No," she pleads, tears mingling with raindrops. He extends a hand, urging, "Come with me." Eun Ha's defiance flickers, her voice trembling. "No." The tension escalates as she grapples with the reality of his supernatural existence, her world spiraling into uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she cries out, "I said no." Her desperation grows as she pleads, "Go away." The ghostly figure, Lee Hae Soo, looms closer, his grin unnerving. Eun Ha's mind races, questioning if anyone can hear her cries for help. She wonders aloud, "What should I do?" The rain intensifies her fear, each drop a reminder of her isolation. Her heart pounds, echoing her terror. As she screams for assistance, her voice breaks, "Help me." The tension thickens, her world collapsing under the weight of his supernatural presence. Eun Ha's struggle deepens, her reality blurring between protection and menace. Amidst the relentless rain, Choo Eun Ha's heart clenches as beads of water scatter around her, symbolizing her shattered reality. Lee Hae Soo's voice echoes, urging, "Won't you come with us?" His words pierce her soul, intertwining protection and menace. Eun Ha's eyes widen in terror, her breath hitching. "Don't run away," he whispers, extending a hand. The tension mounts as she contemplates his offer, her mind battling confusion and fear. "Together forever," he insists, his presence overwhelming. Eun Ha's resolve falters, her world teetering on the edge of acceptance and dread as she faces the haunting choice before her. Lee Hae Soo's menacing grin fades as he collapses, his body shaking uncontrollably. The rain-soaked streets echo with his strained groans. Choo Eun Ha sits alone, her eyes wide with shock and disbelief. A stranger approaches, concern etched on his face. "Choo Eun Ha, are you okay?" he asks gently. Eun Ha's gaze shifts between the stranger and Hae Soo's struggling form, her mind reeling. The tension thickens as she struggles to comprehend the unfolding chaos. The stranger's voice softens. "Are you hurt anywhere?" Eun Ha hesitates, torn between fear and uncertainty, her world spiraling into an abyss of confusion and dread. Amidst the relentless downpour, Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she confesses her obliviousness to the stranger's presence. Her eyes brim with confusion and fear, reflecting the chaos swirling within her. She stammers, insisting she's unharmed, yet her trembling hands betray her. The stranger reassures her, dismissing any unsettling words as mere nonsense. Eun Ha's gaze shifts to the shadowy figure of Lee Hae Soo, her heart aching with betrayal. "How could you?" she whispers, grappling with the realization that his actions defy human limits. The tension escalates as she questions his true nature, her world crumbling under the weight of unanswered truths. Choo Eun Ha's voice quivers as she asks Lee Hae Soo a lingering question, her eyes brimming with uncertainty. Hae Soo, with a reassuring nod, invites her query. Eun Ha hesitates, her mind grappling with suppressed curiosity. Relief washes over her as she acknowledges his protective presence, yet an unspoken dread lingers. As she blurts out her thoughts, Hae Soo's expression shifts to one of surprise. "Hey, what do you mean by that?" he asks, bewildered. The air thickens with tension, hinting at a forbidden truth that threatens to unravel their fragile bond. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with confusion as she questions Lee Hae Soo's identity. Her voice trembles, reflecting her inner turmoil. Hae Soo's expression shifts subtly, hinting at a deeper mystery. He urges her to stand, his tone firm yet gentle. As she hesitates, her mind races with uncertainty. The rain pours down, mirroring her chaotic thoughts. Eun Ha's grip tightens on his hand, seeking reassurance. Her heart pounds, questioning if the comforting presence she relies on might be an illusion. The tension thickens, leaving her to ponder the true nature of their bond. Choo Eun Ha stammers, her voice trembling under the relentless rain. No, it's just, you're way too strong," she confesses, her eyes brimming with fear. Lee Hae Soo's gaze intensifies, probing her soul. "A common ghost?" He mocks gently. Eun Ha's heart clenches. She whispers, "I'm scared, even more than before." Hae Soo chuckles softly, his fingers brushing her cheek. "Why do you always shake when I ask?" His words echo in the pouring rain, deepening the enigma that binds them. Eun Ha's breath hitches, her mind swirling with unanswered questions as their bond grows ever more complex. Lee Hae Soo's eyes narrow as he senses Choo Eun Ha's growing curiosity. "It seems like you're trying to know too much," he murmurs, his tone laced with a subtle warning. Eun Ha's heart skips a beat, her arms tightening around herself. He reassures her, "Right now, there's really no need. You don't have to know everything." His fingers brush her cheek gently. "I'm on your side. Isn't that enough?" Eun Ha's eyes widen, her mind grappling with his words. The rain intensifies, mirroring her inner turmoil as they stand together, their bond shrouded in mystery and unspoken truths. In the student council room, Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she apologizes, her eyes wide with guilt. Lee Hae Soo holds a broken rosary, his expression unreadable. Eun Ha explains how the rosary snapped during an attack, her heart heavy with regret. Hae Soo's gaze softens as he reassures her. That's not important. Noticing her injuries, he gently examines her arm, concern etching his features. Eun Ha insists she's fine, but Hae Soo's relief is palpable. "I'm grateful you're unharmed," he says, offering solace. The tension eases as he suggests finding a first aid kit, their bond strengthening amidst the chaos. Choo Eun Ha's voice quivers as she recounts the chilling encounter, her eyes brimming with fear. Lee Hae Soo listens intently, his expression a mix of concern and intrigue. "There was a voice warning me away from the water," she whispers, clutching her arm. Hae Soo nods, his gaze thoughtful. "And the ghost that tried to drag me off," she continues, her words trembling. Hae Soo's eyes darken, sensing the gravity of her experience. "Let's go to the pond together," she recalls, her heart pounding. The tension thickens as they delve deeper into the mystery, their bond tested by the unseen forces at play. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she recounts the harrowing encounter, her eyes wide with lingering fear. Lee Hae Soo listens intently, his expression a blend of concern and curiosity. She shares how she survived only because Hae Soo appeared, yet something unsettling lingers. Recalling the ghost's icy grip and Hae Soo's touch feeling eerily similar, she feels a chill. Her strength wavers, as if dispersing into mist. The rosary breaking leaves her unable to check on him. A friend questions if Hae Soo came after the rosary snapped, hinting at hidden truths. Eun Ha calls out softly, "Lee Hae Soo." As tension mounts, questioning his role, a friend ponders the pond's mystery, his thoughts swirling with confusion. Lee Hae Soo sank beneath the surface there? He muses aloud, eyes narrowing. The rain pounds outside as he realizes the entity isn't just a water spirit, but a wrathful spirit, tainted and menacing. His voice grows urgent. "Eun Ha, listen carefully." Choo Eun Ha's heart races, her eyes wide with dread. Today holds unknown dangers as the rain intensifies, each drop echoing the looming threat. The tension thickens, their bond tested by the unseen forces, leaving them teetering on the edge of understanding the spirit's true nature. Choo Eun Ha gazes out the window, her heart heavy with unease. Rain pours relentlessly, mirroring her turmoil. A friend urges her to go home quickly, warning of Lee Hae Soo's unpredictable power. He reveals Hae Soo's strength to defeat a water spirit effortlessly, heightening Eun Ha's anxiety. Concerned about her safety, he advises secrecy regarding her visit to the student council room. Offering his number for emergencies, he reassures her, "Rest now. Tomorrow will bring clarity." Eun Ha clutches the phone tightly, her mind racing with the weight of hidden truths and looming threats. The rain crescendos, amplifying the suspense that grips her fragile resolve. Choo Eun Ha sits alone, her eyes brimming with tears as she contemplates the people around her. She reflects on how others push away anyone who causes even slight discomfort. Yet, she remembers Jianwoo's kindness despite losing something precious. Wondering why Lee Hae Soo goes so far for her, she compares him to Kim Tae-rin, questioning if they share similarities. Hae Soo reassures her, stating he stands alone by her side. Eun Ha's heart aches as she whispers, questioning his motives and loyalty, the darkness enveloping her as doubts swirl within. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she asks Lee Hae Soo if there's another reason behind his actions, her eyes brimming with unshed tears. Despite Jianwoo's warnings, she confesses her desire to trust him, her heart yearning for understanding. The rain outside intensifies, echoing her inner turmoil. As she lies in bed, her phone vibrates ominously, the screen glowing with an incoming call. The tension builds, her mind racing with doubts and fears. The darkness seems to close in, amplifying her uncertainty about Hae Soo's true intentions and the path their relationship might take. Choo Eun Ha's phone buzzes with an unknown caller. Her heart races as she hesitates, wondering who would disturb her at this hour. The caller ID is blocked, intensifying her unease. She answers, her voice trembling. Hello. Silence greets her. Only the sound of heavy breathing fills the line. Confusion and fear cloud her thoughts. What is this? Breathing? She whispers, clutching the phone tighter. The eerie atmosphere deepens her anxiety, leaving her questioning the unseen caller's intentions. The tension between her reliance on Lee Hae Soo and the mysterious call heightens her vulnerability. Choo Eun Ha's trembling voice echoes. It's not saying anything. As she clutches the phone, her eyes widening with dread. Suddenly, a distorted voice pleads, "Help me," sending chills down her spine. Shock grips her. Could it be Park Soo-hyuk? Her mind races, questioning reality. "Where are you?" She stammers, her heart pounding. The caller, lost and desperate, cries out, "I don't know where I am." Eun Ha's resolve strengthens, her voice firm yet trembling. "Please, don't hang up." The tension thickens, her fear mingling with a glimmer of hope as she realizes she might be the only one who can help. In the dense forest shadows, Park Soo-hyuk's voice trembles as he recounts his harrowing escape and subsequent disorientation within the mountain. His desperation grows as he follows a faint human voice, his heart pounding with each step. The mist thickens, enveloping him in uncertainty. Suddenly, a figure emerges, startling him. "Excuse me, I'm lost. Please help," he pleads, his voice cracking under the weight of his ordeal. Choo Eun Ha listens intently, her eyes wide with concern. The mystery deepens as she realizes the caller's dire situation, her resolve strengthening amidst the eerie silence. The tension between hope and fear grips both, their fates intertwined in this chilling encounter. Park Soo-hyuk's heart races as he sprints through the forest, his breath ragged. A chilling voice urges him onward, intensifying his panic. He collapses by a massive tree, gasping, "Somehow I ended up here." Relief washes over him as the unseen threat halts at the tree's boundary. Meanwhile, Choo Eun Ha's fingers tremble as she holds the phone, her voice urgent. "We don't have time," she whispers, desperation lacing her words. The line crackles ominously, heightening the tension. As Soo-hyuk stares into the foggy distance, a shadowy figure looms, its presence both comforting and menacing. Eun Ha's plea echoes, "Please, don't hang up," intertwining their fates in this haunting moment. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she pleads, "Please, let me live," her eyes brimming with tears. The unseen tormentor mocks her desperation, twisting her words into a sinister confession of twisted affection. Eun Ha's confusion deepens. Her mind reels as she questions the sincerity behind the declaration. The tension escalates as the antagonist reveals a disturbing rationale, claiming their actions stemmed from an unsettling desire for closeness. Eun Ha's heart sinks, realizing the depth of manipulation and the blurred lines between protection and menace. Her resolve falters, leaving her trapped in a web of fear and uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's voice quivers as she pleads for help, her eyes wide with fear. The unseen tormentor mocks her, twisting her words into a sinister confession of twisted affection. Eun Ha's confusion deepens as she questions the sincerity behind the declaration. The tension escalates as the antagonist reveals a disturbing rationale, claiming their actions stemmed from an unsettling desire for closeness. Eun Ha's heart sinks, realizing the depth of manipulation and the blurred lines between protection and menace. Her resolve falters, leaving her trapped in a web of fear and uncertainty. The line crackles ominously, heightening the tension as she whispers, "Please, don't hang up." Lee Hae Soo's eyes widen in shock as he realizes he hasn't received any calls. His mind races, urging him to ignore the unsettling feeling creeping over him. Suddenly, a chilling presence looms in the darkness, its eerie grin sending shivers down his spine. "It's here," he whispers, fear gripping his heart. The creature's monstrous form emerges, causing Hae Soo to recoil in horror. His thoughts spiral as he questions the entity's intentions. The tension thickens, leaving him bewildered and terrified, struggling to comprehend the nightmarish reality unfolding before him. Lee Hae Soo's heart pounds as he stumbles upon the eerie willow tree, its branches whispering secrets of the Black Pond. His voice trembles, "You can't be here." The darkness closes in, and he urges, "Hurry." The night air chills his bones as he recalls the pond's sinister allure. Shadows encircle the walls, and a chilling voice echoes, "You're the one who has to perish." Hae Soo's eyes widen in terror, his breath hitching. The tension thickens, leaving him trapped in a nightmare, questioning his fate as the entity looms closer, its intentions menacing and unclear. Lee Hae Soo's voice cracks as he urges himself to hurry, his body sinking inexplicably in the mountainous pond. Panic grips him, his eyes widen in disbelief at the dark marks spreading across the water. He gasps, gasping in the cold liquid, as tendrils of fear tighten around his heart. A chilling realization dawns. Something unseen pulls him deeper. Desperation fuels his struggle, but the mysterious force remains relentless. Above, a faint cry pierces the silence, hinting at an unknown presence. Hae Soo's breath hitches, his mind racing with unanswered questions as he fights the encroaching darkness enveloping his world. Lee Hae Soo's heart races as a menacing voice taunts, "Told you, didn't I?" The darkness seems to whisper, "You're the first one," as he struggles against unseen forces. His breath catches, eyes wide with terror, as he hears the ominous snap of a cord breaking. The entity mocks, "All that's left," very soon, tightening its grip. Hae Soo's resolve flickers. He whispers to himself, "I can get out," but doubt lingers. The tension thickens, his fate uncertain, as he faces the entity's chilling presence, questioning if escape is possible. The night air chills his bones, and fear grips his soul, leaving him trapped in a nightmare. Choo Eun Ha jolts awake, her heart pounding wildly. Sweat trickles down her face as she gasps for breath, clutching her chest. Her eyes widen in terror, reflecting the nightmare that just unfolded. She whispers to herself, "I had a dream where Park Soo-hyuk met a tragic end." The memory of the eerie phone call at dawn haunts her. As she sits up, her trembling hand reaches for her phone, the image of the fallen form still haunting her mind. The tension grips her tightly, leaving her questioning reality and the dark presence that looms over her life. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen in horror as a chilling voice whispers, "Help me." Her stomach clenches, twisting painfully. She clutches her abdomen, squeezing tightly, trying to calm the turmoil within. It was all just a dream, she reassures herself, but doubt lingers. Outside, she trudges hesitantly, the trail entrance blocked by a stark, no-entry sign. Her gaze narrows, confusion etched on her face. Why is it sealed? The eerie phone call replays in her mind, mingling with the unsettling dream, amplifying her fear and uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she notices police officers outside her school, their presence unnerving. A classmate reveals using the mountain trail to avoid guards, his voice trembling. Eun Ha's eyes widen, her mind swirling with fear and confusion. She hurries to class, her footsteps echoing, seeking safety among peers. Inside, murmurs fill the room. Eun Ha's anxiety peaks when someone slams a door shut. Her gaze darts around, searching for solace, but finds only mounting tension and unease. The classroom, once a sanctuary, now feels like a cage, trapping her fears. Choo Eun Ha flinches, her eyes wide with alarm. She whispers, "What is it?" Her heart pounds as she scans the classroom, searching for Lee Hae Soo. He's absent, leaving an unsettling void. A classmate remarks that Hae Soo tries too hard to know everything, hinting at yesterday being their final conversation. Eun Ha's hand trembles as she taps her desk, anxiety gnawing at her. The teacher urges her to sit down, but her mind remains restless, haunted by Hae Soo's absence and the growing mystery surrounding him. The classroom, once familiar, now echoes with unspoken fears and unanswered questions. The teacher's voice cuts through the tense classroom, announcing the dark discovery of Soo-hyuk's fallen form on the mountain trail. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen in horror, her heart sinking as she realizes the nightmare is real. Her classmates murmur, exchanging uneasy glances. The teacher sternly warns them to go straight home, avoiding the area. Eun Ha's mind races, her anxiety mounting as she wonders about Lee Hae Soo's whereabouts and the dark secrets unfolding around her. The classroom's once familiar walls now echo with dread and unanswered questions, leaving Eun Ha feeling more isolated than ever. Whispers fill the classroom as students discuss Park Soo-hyuk's tragic fate, comparing his remains to a withered husk. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with horror, her hand trembling as she listens. The room buzzes with callous jokes, but Eun Ha feels only dread. Her gaze shifts nervously, her mind racing with thoughts of Lee Hae Soo. Suddenly, a classmate shouts, silencing the chatter. The tension thickens as Eun Ha's fear intertwines with the classroom's oppressive silence, leaving her questioning the darkness lurking behind Hae Soo's actions. The classroom erupts in chaos as a student demands respect, his voice cutting through the whispers like a sharp blade. Eyes widen in shock as the teacher sternly reprimands him, warning of consequences. The air crackles with tension, and Choo Eun Ha's heart pounds, her gaze darting nervously. Amidst the turmoil, a sudden movement sends a bottle crashing to the floor. The teacher's stern command echoes, but the damage is done. Eun Ha's mind races, her fear deepening as she wonders if this is just another chapter in the dark tale unfolding around her. The classroom's oppressive silence amplifies her dread, leaving her trapped in a web of uncertainty and fear. Lee Hae Soo stands ominously over a cowering student, his menacing smile sending shivers down spines. "So, how is it?" he asks, referring to his present. Choo Eun Ha watches in horror as the student flinches under Hae Soo's intense gaze. The air grows heavy with dread as Hae Soo's foot trudges closer, thudding ominously. He leans in, whispering, "Doesn't it feel good?" Eun Ha's heart races, her mind swirling with confusion and fear. She faintly smells water, a chilling reminder of Hae Soo's unsettling presence. "Keep your head down," he warns sharply, tapping her desk, the tension tightening its grip on her fragile nerves. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen as Lee Hae Soo commands her attention, his voice piercing the silence. She hesitates, her heart pounding, before reluctantly meeting his gaze. Hae Soo leans closer, his tone soft yet unsettling, suggesting he will address the tormentors soon. Eun Ha's relief is short-lived. His cryptic words hint at darker intentions. As she glances away, her mind races with fear and confusion. Suddenly, Hae Soo's presence looms over her again, his sharp rebuke cutting through her thoughts. Eun Ha flinches, her nerves frayed by the relentless tension and his enigmatic nature. The classroom's oppressive atmosphere tightens its grip, leaving her trapped in a web of uncertainty and dread. Choo Eun Ha's hand trembles as she writes, her mind grappling with complex emotions. Lee Hae Soo's sudden closeness sends a chill through her, his words lingering like a shadow. Is it gratitude? She wonders aloud, her voice barely a whisper. Hae Soo leans in, his expression unreadable. "There was something I wanted to ask," he murmurs, his tone deceptively casual. The air thickens with unspoken tension as he slides closer, his gaze locking onto hers. "Who do you go see at the student council room?" His question hangs in the silence, igniting a storm of questions within Eun Ha's troubled heart. Lee Hae Soo leans close, his voice a whisper, asking Choo Eun Ha about her visits to the student council room. Her eyes widen with surprise, reflecting a mix of fear and curiosity. The tension builds as she stumbles over her words, her slip falling unnoticed. The pencil rolls away, symbolizing her slipping control. Eun Ha's heart races, her gaze dropping, as she grapples with the weight of Hae Soo's presence and the secrets it might unravel. The air thickens with unspoken questions, leaving her breathless and uncertain of the path ahead. Choo Eun Ha's hand trembles as she writes under Lee Hae Soo's watchful gaze. His menacing smile sends shivers down her spine. "Who's there?" she whispers, startled by an unseen presence. Hae Soo leans closer, urging her to hurry. Eun Ha's eyes dart around, panic rising. She scribbles, on an errand, but doubts flood her mind. The senior's warning echoes. Hae Soo can't perceive the talisman's protection. Her grip tightens, fear mingling with confusion as she wonders if Hae Soo truly knows the danger lurking. The tension thickens, each scratch of the pen amplifying her inner turmoil. Lee Hae Soo's lips curl into a knowing smirk as he challenges Choo Eun Ha. Trying to hide it again? Her eyes widen in shock, her trembling hand betraying her fear. The teacher calls out, summoning Eun Ha and Taran after assembly. Hae Soo's menacing grin intensifies, reminding her of their secret pact. "I'll go with you," he declares, his presence both comforting and unsettling. As they walk, Eun Ha's anxiety grows, her gaze fixed on Taran's bandaged arm, a silent testament to Hae Soo's protective yet violent nature. The tension thickens, leaving Eun Ha questioning the true cost of his guardianship. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she follows the teacher to the counseling room, her steps faltering under the weight of suspicion. Inside, the counselor reveals unsettling news. The police visited due to a horrific discovery. Eun Ha's eyes widen in horror as he hints at a ritual gone wrong. The counselor questions her whereabouts, insisting she couldn't have been near the central garden. Eun Ha's mind swirls with dread, wondering if her connection to Lee Hae Soo has led to this chaos. The tension mounts, her fear intertwining with the mystery surrounding her ghostly companion. Choo Eun Ha sits rigidly as the counselor speaks, her heart pounding with unease. The man pauses, his fist clenched, then mumbles reassurances, dismissing the incident as nothing. Eun Ha nods mechanically, her mind racing with thoughts of the central garden. She wonders about its significance, her anxiety mounting. The counselor hands her an item, his expression unreadable. Eun Ha's confusion deepens, her eyes reflecting the turmoil within. The tension between them thickens, each word and gesture heightening the mystery surrounding her and Lee Hae Soo's enigmatic bond. The department head teacher receives the meeting materials, his eyes narrowing as he spots a looming shadow. His breath catches. A sinister figure stands beside Choo Eun Ha, who looks bewildered. The teacher whispers, recognizing the menace. Suddenly, the shadow lunges, fingers cracking ominously. Eun Ha gasps, her eyes widening in terror as the figure's grip tightens around the teacher's collar. Her heart pounds, fear mingling with confusion. The tension escalates as the ghostly presence exerts control, leaving Eun Ha to wonder about the true nature of her protector. The scene crackles with dread, her reality blurring between safety and danger. Choo Eun Ha trembles as the department head hands her a spare key, his voice tinged with disappointment. He mentions the council room's exhibition, now jeopardized by recent events. Eun Ha's mind races, connecting the dots. Hae Soo knows of this place. Her heart sinks, realizing the significance of the council room. The tension builds as she silently questions if this location holds the key to unraveling Hae Soo's true intentions. The air crackles with unease, her fear intertwining with curiosity as she contemplates the enigmatic bond that binds her to the ghostly figure. Choo Eun Ha sighs heavily, her thoughts swirling with uncertainty. She recalls the day she met Senior Jianwoo in the temporary student council room, volunteering for cleaning duty in the original room. Determined to avoid Hae Soo's notice, she plans her movements carefully. Yet, as she trudges down the hallway, her heart clenches with anxiety. Despite her efforts, she didn't expect to get caught so swiftly. The tension mounts as she wonders if her plan will unravel, leaving her exposed and vulnerable to the ghostly figure's unpredictable nature. Choo Eun Ha's heart pounds as she walks down the hallway, her mind consumed by dread. Senior Jianwoo's voice echoes, warning of escalating danger. His eyes widen with alarm as he glances back, gripping his collar tightly. Fear grips him. He knows someone has already faced an untimely fate. With a heavy sigh, he tells Eun Ha to go ahead while he stops at the restroom. The beads rattle ominously, heightening the tension. Eun Ha hesitates, her anxiety palpable, as she senses the looming threat closing in on them both. The air thickens with unease, their fates hanging precariously in the balance. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she stammers, "You. Nah." Her fingers clench tightly, mirroring her inner turmoil. Lee Hae Soo's grin sends a chill down her spine, his presence overwhelming. He whispers, urging her to stay close. Eun Ha's eyes widen with uncertainty, her doubts surfacing. Is this the women's restroom? He asks, his tone mocking. She hesitates, unsure if her strategy will succeed. The tension thickens as they stand together, her hand pressed against his chest. Eun Ha silently pleads, please let it work, her heart pounding with hope and fear intertwined. Lee Hae Soo leans close, whispering secrets that send shivers down Choo Eun Ha's spine. His fingers brush her lips, urging silence. Please let this work, he murmurs, his eyes intense. Outside, he turns to her, his voice soft yet commanding. Do you really mean what you just said? Eun Ha's heart races, her hand clutching her chest. He laughs, a sound both eerie and exhilarating, as if their bond deepens with each shared breath. The tension between them grows, a delicate dance of trust and fear, leaving Eun Ha questioning the reality of their connection. Choo Eun Ha's mind races, confusion clouding her thoughts. Why is he laughing? She wonders, anxiety gripping her. Lee Hae Soo's eerie chuckle echoes, his eyes piercing. Fine, let's go together, he declares, leading her toward the annex. Inside, a stern teacher addresses Eun Ha, mentioning fallen students and her name. Shocked, Eun Ha questions why she's singled out. The teacher's gaze intensifies, revealing a hidden memory of chaos. The tension thickens, Eun Ha's heart pounding as she grapples with the unsettling revelation, her world teetering on the edge of understanding. The stern teacher's voice cuts through the classroom, urging students to sit. Choo Eun Ha's heart pounds as she wonders why she's been summoned. The teacher, sensing her unease, speaks softly about Soo-hyuk, acknowledging their inseparable bond. Her words carry weight, hinting at hidden truths. This is your last chance, she insists, pressing for honesty. Eun Ha's eyes widen in shock when asked about the central garden, her mind racing with confusion. The tension thickens, leaving her questioning the reality of their connection and the secrets that bind them. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she questions the existence of a hidden place within the annex. Lee Hae Soo's hand slides across the wooden surface, the blade cutting through the air with a swift swoosh. His eyes gleam with surprise, revealing a smirk. I'm amazed, he muses, that you'd bring me here after witnessing a ghost and fleeing from danger. Eun Ha's heart races, her eyes widening in shock as she processes his words. The tension between them thickens, her fear mingling with curiosity as she watches him, her hand instinctively reaching out in a startled gesture. The air crackles with unspoken truths and looming secrets. Lee Hae Soo urges Choo Eun Ha to speak, his hand raised reassuringly. A mischievous grin spreads across his face as he leans closer, intrigued by her hesitation. Eun Ha's eyes widen with anxiety. Her voice quivers as she admits her concern for others' safety. She suggests the empty annex impulsively, unsure how to handle the situation now. The tension between them intensifies as Hae Soo contemplates her words, his expression shifting from amusement to contemplation. The room feels heavy with unspoken thoughts, leaving Eun Ha questioning if her decision was right, her heart pounding with uncertainty. Lee Hae Soo's eyes narrow as he listens intently, absorbing every word. The girl pleads desperately, her voice trembling. Please save me. Her fear is palpable, her hands shaking uncontrollably. Hae Soo's gaze softens momentarily, but his resolve hardens. He muses aloud. You've never been inside the central garden. The tension thickens as he questions her further, his tone laced with disbelief. The girl confesses, blaming another for her actions, her eyes brimming with tears. Hae Soo's expression darkens, contemplating the gravity of her words. The air crackles with unresolved tension, leaving both characters entangled in a web of fear and uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she insists, I just did what I was told. The teacher urges her to lift her head, her tone stern yet compassionate. Eun Ha's eyes widen in surprise, calling out softly, Ah, teacher. The teacher's expression hardens, demanding, If you're going to beg, you should beg that child. Eun Ha's shoulders slump under the weight of her helplessness. The teacher continues, revealing the annex's dark history, her voice tinged with sorrow. Eun Ha's fear deepens, her mind racing with the implications. The tension between them escalates, leaving Eun Ha trapped in a labyrinth of fear and uncertainty. Lee Hae Soo's eyes gleam with a sinister curiosity as he studies the blueprint, his hand tapping rhythmically. He muses that the building, a site of tragedy, remains untouched, hinting at a deeper, unspeakable reason. The annex, he explains, seems designed to imprison something unimaginable. Eun Ha's eyes widen in horror, her mind grappling with the revelation. Hae Soo's smirk deepens as he presses her further, demanding to know her intentions. The air thickens with tension, their confrontation escalating as Eun Ha stands frozen, her fear palpable. The scene captures a pivotal moment, blurring the lines between protector and predator. Lee Hae Soo leans closer, his eyes piercing through the shadows. His voice drips with a chilling calm. "You don't actually want to be with me, do you?" Choo Eun Ha's heart races, her breath hitching as she stammers. That is." The tension thickens as Hae Soo's smirk widens. "You called me here just to put distance between us," he accuses. Eun Ha's eyes well up, her voice trembling. "Your friend is me." Hae Soo's gaze intensifies. "It's only me," he declares, his words slicing through the air like a blade. The air crackles with unresolved conflict, leaving Eun Ha teetering on the edge of fear and confusion. Choo Eun Ha flinches, her eyes brimming with tears as Lee Hae Soo questions why she still looks at him. His tone carries an unsettling edge, probing her hidden thoughts. Eun Ha's confusion deepens. She wonders why he seems so distant. Hae Soo accuses her of hiding important details, his words cutting like a sharp blade. Eun Ha's hands tremble as she reaches out, questioning if he truly considers her a friend. The air grows heavy with unspoken doubts, their bond strained by mistrust and fear, leaving Eun Ha teetering on the brink of despair. Choo Eun Ha's heart races, her voice trembling as she admits, "I'm nervous, or maybe scared." Her wide eyes reflect uncertainty, yearning to understand Lee Hae Soo's intentions. His shadowy figure looms, his eyes piercing through the darkness. What those eyes are thinking, she wonders aloud. Hae Soo's menacing smile widens, responding cryptically, "Of course." The tension thickens as Eun Ha questions his cryptic words, her fear mingling with curiosity. The line between protector and threat blurs, leaving Eun Ha entangled in a web of doubt and dependence. A sinister figure confronts Choo Eun Ha, demanding if she invited him like others. Eun Ha's eyes widen in shock as she stammers, "Hey, Soo." The shadowy entity lunges, striking with force. The impact sends Eun Ha reeling, her breath hitching. Her heart pounds as she grapples with the realization that Lee Hae Soo might not be the friend she thought. The tension escalates, leaving her questioning his true intentions. The line between protector and predator grows ever more blurred, trapping Eun Ha in a labyrinth of fear and uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she whispers, "Hey Hae Soo." Her eyes widen in disbelief as Lee Hae Soo slides into view, declaring, "Of course you're my one and only friend." The tension crackles as a loud thud echoes, followed by Hae Soo presenting a massive centipede. Eun Ha's face contorts in horror, yet she stammers, "Why you caught it for me?" Despite her fear, she can't shake the unsettling feeling that even in catching a bug, Hae Soo remains terrifying. His final warning, "Don't forget," leaves her heart pounding, unsure if he's a protector or a looming threat. Lee Hae Soo's voice carries a chilling edge as he questions Choo Eun Ha. "Did you get so caught up playing friends that you forgot your goal?" Eun Ha's eyes widen in shock as she realizes her vulnerability. This kid is nothing more than a tool. Hae Soo thinks aloud, his resolve hardening. Eun Ha's voice trembles. "Tage, then promise me, as a friend." The tension thickens as Hae Soo's hand moves swiftly, her heart racing. The line between protector and threat blurs, leaving Eun Ha's fate hanging in the balance. Choo Eun Ha's voice quivers as she pleads, "Don't harm anyone else. I'm begging you." Lee Hae Soo's grip tightens, his eyes piercing hers. "You, how can you be so naively innocent?" he questions, his tone laced with frustration. Eun Ha's tears stream down, her hands trembling as she grasps his arm. The tension escalates. She begs, "Stop. No more." Hae Soo's expression darkens, his words cutting like a blade. Eun Ha's desperation is palpable, her fear mingling with confusion as she tries to understand the true nature of her ghostly companion. The line between protector and threat grows ever thinner, leaving her fate uncertain. Choo Eun Ha's voice shakes as she pleads, her eyes brimming with tears. Lee Hae Soo's grip tightens, his eyes piercing hers with frustration. "How can you be so naive?" he questions. Eun Ha's hands tremble as she grasps his arm, begging him to stop. The tension escalates as Hae Soo reveals a past illness, warning that prolonged contact could harm her. Eun Ha's expression shifts from fear to understanding, her heart heavy with the realization. The line between protector and threat blurs further, leaving her fate uncertain as she processes the gravity of his revelation. Lee Hae Soo stands alone, his gaze lost in thought. "What did you want to tell me privately?" he murmurs, his voice tinged with uncertainty. The tension weighs heavily on him as he questions aloud. "What do I even want from you?" 3 days after Park Soo-hyuk's tragic passing, whispers fill the air. Students murmur about the eerie video circulating, wondering if it truly shows a fallen form. "It looks like some kind of affliction," one says, disgust evident. The bizarre passing haunts them all, casting a shadow over their lives. Hae Soo's resolve falters, his mind grappling with the unsettling truth unfolding before him. Whispers swirl around Kim Tae-rin as students gossip about the recent tragedy. Her arm, wrapped in bandages, draws curious glances. "See that arm?" one mutters, suggesting a curse for associating with someone who sees spirits. Tae-rin trudges along, her face etched with unease. The air buzzes with speculation. Her classmates whisper about her frantic episode, convinced she's possessed. Despite her attempts to blend in, the rumors follow her relentlessly. Even Tae-rin can't escape the shadow cast by these dark whispers, her resolve faltering under the weight of suspicion and fear. Amidst the dense forest, Kim Tae-rin clenches her fist, frustration bubbling within. "Those cowards talk big behind people's backs," she mutters, her voice dripping with disdain. The cigarette sizzles as she crushes it beneath her shoe, the sound echoing her inner turmoil. "Choo Eun Ha, you're finished," she declares, her eyes narrowing. Ghosts and curses mean nothing to her now. She has her own path. Determination hardens her resolve, a silent vow to confront whatever lies ahead. The tension thickens, her defiance fueling the brewing storm. A mysterious guest invitation rests ominously, hinting at unseen plans. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles with determination. "Do you think I came unprepared? As long as I have that notebook." The tension thickens as Kwon Bono approaches, her expression wary. Eun Ha's words cut sharply. "If you're going to fade away, then face the end alone." Her eyes blaze with a fierce resolve, reflecting the weight of her inner turmoil. The air crackles with unresolved conflict, leaving Bona stunned and questioning the depth of Eun Ha's resolve. The scene fades, leaving a trail of suspense and unanswered questions. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she confesses, "I'm so exhausted by everything right now." Lee Hae Soo's eyes narrow, his menacing smile widening. "If you're going to fade away," he sneers, "then face the end alone." Eun Ha recoils, her heart pounding. Hae Soo's grip tightens on a branch, his grin revealing a chilling darkness. "This is why you should never take in idiots," he mocks. The tension thickens as Eun Ha questions his intentions, her fear mingling with confusion. Hae Soo's laughter echoes, a sinister reminder of the blurred line between protector and predator. Lee Hae Soo's voice rings out sternly, warning the tormentor that this is her last chance to apologize. His menacing presence grows as he approaches, gripping his stick tightly. The tormentor scoffs, challenging him, but Hae Soo's swift strike sends her crashing to the ground. Eun Ha watches in horror, her heart racing. The tormentor groans in pain, realizing the gravity of her situation. Hae Soo's chilling remark about her family's inability to help underscores the dark twist in their friendship, leaving Eun Ha torn between gratitude and fear. Lee Hae Soo's hand grips the sleeve, his eyes narrowing with intensity. He recalls their first encounter, a winter memory tinged with nostalgia. "That thing you keep mentioning?" he muses, a smirk playing on his lips. As snowflakes dance outside Muwon Police Station, they reminisce about past troubles, school violence, and near detention. A figure in authority steps in, reminding them of parental influence. Eun Ha's heart aches with a mix of admiration and unease. "Back then, you really seemed impressive," he admits, the tension between them palpable, hinting at deeper complexities yet to unfold. Lee Hae Soo's grip tightens, his eyes sharp as he reflects on their shared past. Eun Ha's heart aches with mixed admiration and anxiety. He muses, recalling how she once thought him incredible for aiding strangers. Eun Ha's resolve hardens, as she declares, "You didn't need a friend, you needed a toy." Her words sting, revealing her realization that his actions were motivated by something darker. The tension between them thickens, hinting at a revelation that will shatter their fragile bond. Eun Ha's eyes widen, her mind racing with the weight of her words. Choo Eun Ha stands resolute, her voice trembling as she declares her detachment from Lee Hae Soo. Her eyes brim with sorrow and determination, reflecting the weight of her decision. Hae Soo's menacing grin widens, his words dripping with malice as he predicts her inevitable downfall. The tension escalates as Eun Ha's fists clench, her anger boiling over. She lashes out, striking him with force, her frustration manifesting physically. The impact sends shockwaves through both characters, their bond fracturing further. Eun Ha's defiant stance and Hae Soo's sinister prediction set the stage for an uncertain future, leaving their relationship hanging precariously in the balance. A mysterious figure looms ominously, declaring, "You dare try to run away. That won't do. You're next." The tension escalates as the scene shifts to Jianwoo's home. His mother calls out, "Jianwoo," asking if he's still washing up. He responds, Mom," then queries, "Did you call?" She hands him a package, explaining, "Your grandfather sent it." Jianwoo's curiosity peaks as he accepts the box, his mind swirling with questions. The atmosphere thickens with suspense, hinting at an impending revelation that could unravel the tangled threads of their lives. Jianwoo's eyes widen with intrigue as he contemplates the package from his grandfather. His mother warns him cautiously, urging him not to accept gifts so freely. She hints at superstitions about ghosts and the afterlife, her concern evident. Jianwoo nods, dismissing her worries with a forced smile. Alone, he examines the box, his curiosity mounting. The door clicks shut, sealing his solitude. Inside the package lies a mysterious green cloth bundle, its contents unknown but heavy with potential secrets. The tension builds as Jianwoo's heart races, pondering the implications of this unexpected gift and its connection to the eerie figure's ominous declaration. Jianwoo's fingers tremble as he unwraps the green cloth, revealing prayer beads, fixed. His eyes widen with astonishment, the beads rattle inside the lining. He slides open a hidden compartment, finding a note. His breath catches, the revelation shakes him. After one of Eun Ha's tormentors met an untimely fate, a shadowy figure emerges behind him. Jianwoo's heart pounds, fear gripping him. The ghostly presence looms closer, intensifying the mystery. His mind races, piecing together the puzzle. The tension thickens, leaving Jianwoo questioning the boundaries between protection and peril. Jianwoo's eyes widen as he recalls confronting the menacing entity up close, its malice far worse than imagined. His heart races, haunted by the memory. That day, if Eun Ha hadn't avoided joining him, the outcome might have been dire. Holding the note, he ponders its significance, linking it to the broken prayer beads. The tension mounts as he questions why Lee Hae Soo overlooked Eun Ha's absence. His expression shifts from fear to determination, vowing to unravel the mystery and protect Eun Ha from the looming threat. The note holds the key to understanding the enigmatic figure's intentions. Jianwoo's heart pounds as he examines the note, his mind racing with chilling thoughts. If this is true, he whispers, feeling a chill down his spine. He wonders why someone would target Eun Ha, plotting something sinister. As he flips through Dongga High School's history timeline and literary club collection, the pieces start fitting together. His eyes widen when he notices a missing puzzle piece, a senior year class journal. In that moment, a realization dawns, intensifying the mystery surrounding Lee Hae Soo's intentions. Jianwoo's determination grows, vowing to uncover the truth and shield Eun Ha from the looming danger. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she recalls the ghost's haunting words about the pond. Her mind swirls with questions, mirroring the confusion in her eyes. Meanwhile, a man meticulously sifts through Dongga High's history timeline, his brow furrowed in concentration. He notices a missing piece, a revelation sparked by Eun Ha's mention of the pond. His hand hovers over the document, a silent testament to the puzzle unfolding. The tension thickens as he wonders if the school ever had a pond, linking past mysteries to present enigmas. The man's eyes widen as he uncovers the truth. 50 years ago, the school annex was once a pond, now filled and built upon. His fingers trace the old literature club magazine, revealing tales of an ancient willow tree that guards the spot. The wind whispers through its branches, as if watching over secrets long buried. Choo Eun Ha's heart pounds, her mind racing with the eerie connection. The man murmurs, sensing something amiss beneath the ordinary words. The tension grows, intertwining past and present in a haunting dance of mystery and revelation. The man's eyes widen in disbelief as he realizes why the willow tree remains untouched. His brow furrows as he whispers, contemplating the tree's significance. The eerie connection between the pond's history and the present unravels before him. He murmurs, "Why did they leave only the tree?" A chill runs down his spine as he thinks, maybe it was impossible to cut that tree down. His hand clenches the document, his expression haunted by the mystery. The tension mounts, intertwining the past with Choo Eun Ha's current predicament. The willow tree stands as a silent guardian, safeguarding secrets yet to be revealed. The man's fingers delicately handle the worn prayer beads, his voice tinged with regret as he confesses their poor condition to Jianwo. His expression softens as he recalls the beads' age-old significance, explaining their unique power against formidable spirits. The tension thickens as he admits his oversight, unable to fully perceive Jianwo until now. Outside, Choo Eun Ha sits alone in the rain, her eyes wide with fear as the beads blur her presence from powerful entities. The man's hope flickers, wishing she'd never learned of this hidden effect, leaving both characters entangled in a web of mystery and impending danger. Hands tremble as the man clutches the paper, his heart heavy with dread. He muses aloud, "Your inquiry suggests you've faced an entity," his voice laced with concern. Eyes narrowing, he wonders if it involves the girl from school. Determined, he insists, "Warn the child and stay away." Tears blur his vision as he whispers, "I'll visit soon, Jianwo." Sliding open a drawer, he retrieves a class journal, its pages filled with forgotten memories. His resolve solidifies. He must inform Eun Ha, no matter the cost. The tension thickens, each action echoing the looming threat and his desperate need to protect. The principal's eyes widen in shock as he hears the detective's chilling revelation about Park Soo-hyuk's medical examination. His fingers tremble as he clutches the phone, absorbing the news that the boy's passing doesn't align with sinking. The detective mentions mysterious marks on the body, deepening the mystery. The principal's mind races, connecting this to Lee Hae Soo's true identity. He nods, understanding the gravity, and hangs up, his heart heavy. Outside, the school looms ominously, a silent witness to the unfolding enigma. The principal's resolve hardens. He must uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The principal's voice quivers as he recalls the past, his eyes reflecting the weight of 10 years. He murmurs, "It's exactly the same," his mind haunted by the memory of 6 souls taken. Forms so distorted, they're barely recognizable, with skin marred by dark spots. The annex's closure seemed like a solution then, but now, the unseen force drags him back into its grasp. His heart sinks, realizing the horror has returned, leaving him to ponder the school's grim fate. The tension thickens as the principal grapples with the chilling realization that the past shadows have enveloped the present once more. The principal's hand clenches tightly, his voice trembling as he insists on speaking over the phone. Memories flood his mind, recalling the shaman who aided them a decade ago. This incident demands immediate attention, he declares, his tone grave. Outside, Lee Hae Soo gazes at the sky, a soft exclamation escaping his lips. The tension thickens, intertwining past and present, as the principal seeks help to unravel the mystery surrounding the school's haunting legacy. Hae Soo's expression hints at a deeper connection, amplifying the suspense and dread that permeate the air. Lee Hae Soo calls out to Choo Eun Ha from the rooftop, his voice gentle yet commanding. Eun Ha hesitates, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and curiosity. She recalls how she spent most of her free time with Hae Soo after the annex incident. As he playfully offers to catch a crow for her, Eun Ha shakes, struggling to reconcile his playful demeanor with the dark deeds he's rumored to have committed. The tension builds as she questions the possibility of such innocence coexisting with violence, her heart racing with confusion and dread. Choo Eun Ha stands frozen, her gaze fixed on the ominous silhouette above. A crow flaps its wings, drawing her attention. Lee Hae Soo leans down, tapping the bird gently. His voice carries a curious undertone, asking what she thinks. Eun Ha's heart pounds, her eyes widening as she notices unsettling black blotches around the crow's eye. Hae Soo's expression shifts, his eyes narrowing thoughtfully. The tension between them thickens, her mind swirling with questions about his intentions. Is he truly a protector or something more sinister? The air crackles with uncertainty as they stand under the vast sky, their bond tested by the shadows lurking beneath. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with concern as she kneels beside the fallen bird, its pain etched in her memory. Lee Hae Soo's hand swishes past, crunching the bird underfoot. His indifferent gaze unsettles Eun Ha, who stammers, "W8." The tension thickens as she wonders if Hae Soo lacks emotion. His casual dismissal of the crow's suffering leaves her questioning his true nature. The air crackles with unease, their bond tightening amid the growing mystery of Hae Soo's intentions. Lee Hae Soo confesses his hatred for birds, his voice tinged with sorrow. Choo Eun Ha listens intently, her eyes reflecting confusion and empathy. He reveals a deep-seated anger triggered by freedom, longing to soar himself. Shadows envelop him as he recounts an endless sinking sensation, his expression haunted. The tension escalates as Eun Ha grapples with understanding his turmoil. His admission deepens their bond, yet his cryptic words hint at unresolved trauma, leaving Eun Ha to ponder the complexities of his troubled soul. The air grows heavy with unspoken truths, their relationship teetering on the edge of revelation. Lee Hae Soo leans close, his smirk unsettling as he whispers, "But look," his eyes gleaming with mischief. Choo Eun Ha gasps, startled by his sudden closeness, her heart pounding. He asks if she's surprised, his tone playful yet eerie. As she recoils, he spreads his arms wide, declaring newfound freedom. Eun Ha, breathless, admits he scared her. His gaze softens, teasing her fears of falling. Their bond deepens in this tense moment, her confusion mingling with a strange sense of safety in his presence. The air buzzes with unspoken questions, their relationship entwined in a delicate dance of trust and uncertainty. Choo Eun Ha's hand slides across the window, her fingers tracing invisible patterns. She murmurs softly, her eyes distant with contemplation. Suddenly, a gentle breeze stirs her hair, and she whispers, "Hae Soo." Lee Hae Soo appears beside her, his presence barely audible. His eyes widen slightly, and he mumbles, "Oops, again." The tension between them thickens as Eun Ha's heart races, her mind swirling with questions about his cryptic actions. His unexpected arrival sends a shiver down her spine, deepening the enigmatic bond they share. The air crackles with unspoken secrets, their relationship hanging precariously between comfort and unease. Lee Hae Soo notices Choo Eun Ha's distant gaze and gently asks what troubles her. Her fingers trace the window, lost in thought, before she softly replies that everything is fine. A tear slips down her cheek, and she quickly wipes it away, her heart heavy with unspoken desires. Hae Soo, sensing her turmoil, confesses his envy of her ability to move freely. Eun Ha, touched by his words, wishes aloud that she could escape like him, clarifying she means leaving her home. Their conversation reveals layers of longing and vulnerability, tightening the intricate bond between them. The air fills with a bittersweet harmony of understanding and hidden pain. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she shares her fragmented family history, her fingers fidgeting nervously. Lee Hae Soo listens intently, his eyes reflecting empathy. Despite her father's sacrifices, Eun Ha yearns to escape, leaving Hae Soo puzzled. Sensing her discomfort, he reassures her, acknowledging everyone's secrets. His gentle smile eases her burden, creating a fragile bridge of trust. Eun Ha's eyes widen with surprise at his understanding, her heart swelling with gratitude. Their bond deepens, intertwining their complex lives and emotions as they navigate the shadows of their past together. Choo Eun Ha hesitates, her voice trembling as she addresses Lee Hae Soo. She recalls his confinement within the school walls and wonders aloud about his desires if freed. Hae Soo pauses, his expression thoughtful. He leans closer, whispering that his first wish is a secret. A soft laugh escapes him, hinting at an unspoken longing. The tension between them thickens, their bond growing stronger with each shared moment. Eun Ha's curiosity peaks, her heart racing with anticipation as she awaits his revelation. The air crackles with unspoken truths, their intertwined fates hanging delicately in the balance. Lee Hae Soo reveals his first wish, to meet a friend who betrayed him. His eyes darken with resolve, hinting at a hidden pain. Choo Eun Ha shivers, her voice quivering as she questions his intentions. "So you're going to end that friendship?" she asks, her heart heavy. Hae Soo's menacing smile widens, dismissing her concern. "What are you worried about?" he counters, his tone chilling. The tension escalates as Eun Ha grapples with his cryptic words, her fear mingling with confusion. Their bond tightens, yet the looming threat casts a shadow over their fragile alliance. Lee Hae Soo's eyes gleam with intensity as he whispers, "Never betray me." sending a chill down Choo Eun Ha's spine. Her hesitant nod reveals her fear and uncertainty. As they clasp hands, a silent pact forms. Eun Ha, desperate to shift the mood, suggests outings like visiting a botanical garden or the beach. Her voice trembles with hope, imagining these peaceful scenes. Yet, beneath the surface, the tension lingers, their bond tightening amid the shadows of Hae Soo's unresolved past. The air crackles with unspoken fears, their intertwined destinies hanging precariously in the balance. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with confusion as Lee Hae Soo mentions an amusement park, her mind racing with questions. What does amusement park mean? She wonders aloud, her voice trembling. Hae Soo's gaze softens momentarily before he realizes there's no such place within the school walls. The tension between them thickens as Eun Ha's fear intertwines with curiosity. Their hands still clasped, they stand silently, the weight of their unspoken fears hanging heavily in the air. The bond between them grows stronger, yet the mystery surrounding Hae Soo deepens, leaving Eun Ha both comforted and unsettled. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with curiosity as she questions Lee Hae Soo about an amusement park within their school. Hae Soo's smirk fades into a thoughtful expression, his gaze distant. Eun Ha's voice trembles slightly as she asks about his school days, her heart racing with anticipation. Hae Soo's reply, "No idea," leaves her puzzled. The tension between them deepens as Eun Ha's mind races, wondering about the ghostly figure's true origins and the secrets he might hold. The sky above them seems to mirror the uncertainty clouding their bond. Lee Hae Soo admits he used to walk everywhere, his expression distant. A drop of water splashes into a heart-shaped ripple, symbolizing doubt. Choo Eun Ha shivers, realizing the subway hasn't opened in their city. She understands that unease. Hae Soo knows little about the outside world. He seems isolated, a mystery that unsettles her. Tension thickens as she confronts the eerie truth. Hae Soo's origins blur reality, leaving Eun Ha to question his intentions and her growing reliance on him. Choo Eun Ha trudges through the dense forest, her heart pounding with each step. Her eyes dart nervously, reflecting her growing unease. She gulps, clutching her backpack tightly as she stumbles upon a mysterious notebook labeled Guest Invitation. The weight of its secrets presses heavily on her mind. Eun Ha clenches the book, her thoughts swirling with confusion and fear. This discovery only deepens the enigma surrounding Lee Hae Soo, leaving her to wonder if their bond will withstand the shadows lurking in the unknown. The tension between them intensifies as Eun Ha grapples with the truth hidden within these pages. Choo Eun Ha's hands tremble as she holds the Guest Invitation notebook, her mind racing with dread. The weight of its secrets crushes her spirit. A voice echoes, confessing the ritual's origin and the notebook's theft out of spite. Eun Ha flips through the pages, her heart heavy with the revelation. The tension escalates as she learns of the sinister plan to sabotage her. Her eyes widen in horror, realizing the depths of betrayal and the dangerous path she treads. The truth unravels, threatening the fragile bond between her and Lee Hae Soo, leaving her to confront the darkness within. Choo Eun Ha's heart clenches as she learns of Park Soo-hyuk's fate, the revelation deepening her fear and confusion. Kwon Bona's bitter words echo, betraying anger and desperation. The tension thickens as Bona ponders the healing of her arm, her voice trembling with urgency. Eun Ha clutches the Guest Invitation, her mind racing with the dark truths unfolding. The conversation about a skilled shaman only adds to the sense of impending danger, forcing Eun Ha to confront the sinister forces looming in the shadows. Choo Eun Ha holds her phone, her voice trembling. "If we meet in person and talk," she begins hesitantly. Anger wells up, and she demands, "If you can't, then shut up." Her eyes narrow with resolve. "Don't call yourself my mom again," she adds coldly. Slamming her phone shut, she strides through the rain, determination in her every step. The weight of the moment presses down on her as she declares, "I have to send that spirit back." The tension hangs thick in the air, her path uncertain and fraught with darkness. A chilling grip seizes Choo Eun Ha's collar, sending her stumbling backward with a startled gasp. The sudden force leaves her bewildered, her eyes wide with confusion. As she stumbles, her mind races, questioning the unseen force. A whispered thought echoes within her. "It felt like someone grabbed the back of my collar and yanked me." The tension thickens, her path now haunted by an invisible menace. Choo Eun Ha's resolve wavers, but her determination to confront the dark forces remains unyielding. A chilling grip sends Choo Eun Ha stumbling, her eyes wide with confusion and fear. She feels a nauseating sensation, her body trembling uncontrollably. Her fists clench, shaking with a fierce resolve. In the distance, a shadowy figure approaches, his voice menacing. "If I finish you now," he declares, "the pink-haired one won't return." He lets her live, warning her to struggle until her last breath. Choo Eun Ha's heart races, the tension thickening as she faces her unknown fate, the turmoil within her spiraling deeper. Eun Ha's resolve falters, yet she pushes forward, navigating the narrow, deserted alleyways. She feels the weight of her backpack as she mutters, "Trudge," her steps becoming more strained with each word. The tension thickens, her path haunted by an unseen menace. As she faces her unknown fate, the turmoil spiraling deeper within her. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen with confusion as a mysterious presence looms. A gentle hand pats hers, murmuring, "You poor thing. How pitiful." Her grandmother's voice echoes. A guest has come to visit, leaving Eun Ha bewildered. The tension thickens as she questions the cryptic statement, her mind racing with uncertainty. The house feels strange, even eerie, as if invaded by an unseen force. Eun Ha's heart pounds, her anxiety mounting. The guest's arrival casts a shadow over her world, intertwining her fate with an unknown entity. The mystery deepens, leaving her to ponder the connection that binds them, her future hanging precariously in the balance. Choo Eun Ha's heart races as she hears a whisper. "Are you going to tell him?" Her eyes widen with fear, tears streaming down her face. She turns, searching for the source, but finds only silence. "Dad," she calls out, her voice trembling. He looks at her with concern. "I'm fine," she mutters, trying to reassure herself. Outside, Lee Hae Soo watches from afar, his gaze piercing. The tension between them thickens as secrets and doubts linger in the air, blurring the line between reality and the ghostly presence that haunts her. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she insists nothing happened, just a normal day at school. Her father's skeptical frown deepens, yet he reluctantly accepts her words. As he leaves, his parting advice echoes, "Focus on graduating, then fend for yourself." Alone, Eun Ha's thoughts churn with frustration. She can't even cook properly. Outside, a shadowy figure watches silently. Inside, she eats mechanically, her mind consumed by doubts. The tension between reality and the ghostly presence grows, leaving her questioning her future and the true nature of her protector. Choo Eun Ha mechanically eats the overcooked ramen, her mind elsewhere. Tears stream as she cleans the floor, her frustration palpable. Suddenly, a voice breaks the silence. "You're hard-working even when no one's watching." Startled, she turns to see Lee Hae Soo, who smiles softly. "Hae Soo," she whispers, confusion clouding her thoughts. He reassures her. "If it's with you, I can go anywhere." Her heart races, doubts swirling. The ghostly figure's presence blurs reality, leaving her questioning his true intentions and the depth of their bond. The tension thickens as she grapples with the enigma of her protector. Choo Eun Ha sits alone, her thoughts tangled as she recalls hearing Lee Hae Soo's voice at home. Confusion clouds her eyes as she wonders why he keeps appearing before her. Suddenly, Hae Soo leans close, patting her head gently. "What are you thinking about?" he asks, his tone soft yet unsettling. Eun Ha recoils, bewildered by his touch. He chuckles, hinting at a mysterious phone call she shouldn't answer. The tension mounts as Eun Ha questions his motives, her heart racing with uncertainty. His cryptic words deepen the enigma, leaving her to ponder the true nature of their bond. Choo Eun Ha's eyes widen as she questions the reality of Lee Hae Soo's presence. "You're not the real Hae Soo," she whispers, her voice trembling. He leans closer, his smile unsettling. "You're just an illusion," she thinks, recoiling from his touch. Hae Soo's cryptic words deepen her confusion. "If I came to your house and held you?" he asks, his grip tightening. Eun Ha's heart races with fear and uncertainty. "No, no, no," she cries, struggling against his embrace. The tension escalates as she grapples with the enigma of her protector, questioning whether he's real or a figment of her imagination. The line between comfort and menace blurs, leaving her alone in the kitchen, haunted by his words. Choo Eun Ha's phone buzzes insistently, startling her. Her eyes widen as she sees Senior Jianhwa's name flash on the screen. A voice inside her warns, "Don't answer. It won't help." Yet, curiosity wins. She hesitantly picks up, her voice trembling. "Senior?" Jian-woo apologizes for surprising her, mentioning an unread message. Eun Ha, flustered, admits she didn't notice it. As they converse, her anxiety grows. Jian-woo suggests meeting in person, offering side dishes if she hasn't eaten. Eun Ha's heart races, torn between intrigue and unease, wondering what this encounter might bring. The tension thickens as she contemplates the implications of this unexpected invitation. Eun Ha's heart pounds, torn between intrigue and fear. As they converse, her anxiety deepens. Jian-woo's concern for her well-being is palpable, his voice softening with worry. Eun Ha, teary-eyed, reassures him nothing is amiss, though her voice betrays her turmoil. The tension thickens, leaving her to ponder the implications of this unexpected invitation, her mind a whirlwind of confusion and apprehension. Choo Eun Ha's voice trembles as she pleads with Senior Jian-woo over the phone, her eyes brimming with tears. "Please stop looking into Lee Hae Soo," she begs, her desperation evident. Jian-woo, sensing her turmoil, tries to reassure her, but Eun Ha interrupts, her voice breaking. "If things continue like this, he will definitely perish," she confesses, her fear palpable. Jian-woo's concern deepens as Eun Ha hangs up abruptly, leaving him stunned. The line goes dead, the tension between them escalating as Eun Ha grapples with her inner turmoil, unsure of whom to trust. Choo Eun Ha's fingers tremble as she deletes Senior Jian-woo's contact, her heart heavy with sorrow. A ghostly presence whispers approval, urging her closer. Fear grips her as she resists, but the shadowy figure overwhelms her, enveloping her in darkness. Jian-woo, witnessing this from afar, realizes the truth. Lee Hae Soo never existed. His voice cracks with urgency, warning Eun Ha of deception. The revelation shatters her world, leaving her to confront the chilling reality that her protector might be a figment of her tormented mind. The tension escalates as Eun Ha struggles to grasp the horrifying implications, her faith in Hae Soo crumbling under the weight of doubt. Yeom Jinho's hand extends, offering a name tag reading Lee Hae Soo. His voice carries a mix of amusement and curiosity as he explains the origin of the name, chosen casually from a stationery shop owner's son. Choo Eun Ha's heart races with confusion and intrigue. Jinho's playful smirk suggests an underlying motive. He asks if Eun Ha desires a name as desperately as he did, then declares, "From now on, that's your name." Eun Ha's eyes widen, her mind grappling with the sudden twist. She thanks Jinho softly, her voice trembling with uncertainty. The tension thickens as she wonders, "Now I can be your classmate too?" The revelation leaves her questioning reality, her faith in Hae Soo shaken. And that wraps up this part. If you watch till the end, you're a legend, and I truly appreciate you. These videos take late nights, focus, and passion to create, so knowing you're here makes it all worth it. If you enjoyed the ride, love the drama, or just live for epic manhwa like I do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell because the next dark twist, it's coming faster than you think.